Jack Anthony, really important game for his career at the Fremantle Dockers.
Opening bounce then, the umpires denied Margetts. Finlay and Ryan. Bounce favours Sandilands, hooks it down behind. Arriving quickly, Thomas. Spills to Blair. Taken down by Clark. So that's interesting. Clark and Sandilands both inside the centre square at that opening bounce. Now, Lee was talking about third man up. This seems the situation that's perfectly disposed to that. Well, Clark stayed down. Whipped out wide there by Jolly. Taken by Thomas. Thomas comes out towards the wing. It's all Collingwood and a couple of classy players, but it runs away from Pendlebury and goes out of bounds. So a throw in.
Interesting matchup in the back half for Collingwood. Ryan Crowley's gone to Davis. Davis averaging 22 kicks a game in the last month.
And the last time we saw him on Friday night footy, he absolutely starred, didn't he, Davis? Tricks and all by the end of the night.
Yes, you know that the opposition are going to approach Leon Davis, who's been so good bouncing off there, that he's going to get the defensive forward, I would have thought, quite regularly from now on.
So Harry O'Brien loose at the moment, both playing a loose player. O'Brien loose and probably Duffield the loosey for the Dockers. Rook's handle okay. Forks his tackle high on Johnson. Thomas running hard. Swan just let it bounce. Mzungu with him. He had the job on Dal Santo 3 weeks ago on Friday night footy. Swan runs away from him, kicks to Cloak in the back free kick.
Just puts him underneath it.
Great leg speed.
As he went up for the ball, just nudged it. Thank you. Thanks, Luke.
Does have great leg speed, Luke McFarlane. Just getting the hand, obviously, in the back. We'll get another look at it. But a really tantalising matchup. McFarlane's probably been in All-Australian form. We just see it here. Closing speed was good. Maybe over the shoulder, the free kick.
I think he felt that he had his forearm in his back, but it was he certainly went forward under the football, but the contact from behind didn't look that much.
No. It's been pretty good with the set shots this year. Cloachy struck that well. All the way. He's up to 59 goals for the season. Collingwood get the first.
That's a good return, isn't it? When you're getting up towards 60 goals, he gets a lot of the ball running around half forward. It's been amazing how the work that he's done on his set shot goal shooting has made him from really erratic to quite reliable now when he got the ball in hands. Massive improvement in 12 months on that part of his game.
Here's another look at the free kick.
It's the forearm in the back, isn't it, that was paid?
You've got to say there's not much in that. The fist was closed, the arm was there. It's just the momentum that propelled him forward.
Cloak becoming such a force. Sandilands taps it down. Well done by Fife when he coughed it up. Thomas, Johnson. Well done, Mzungu. Knocked it down to his own advantage. Runs down towards the 50. Davis, when waiting, got him, took him down. We'll have the ball up. Let's go down to Richo.
Yeah, Collingwood have gone with that three-man tall forward line with Wood down there along with Dawes. That's a different look to it's had. And Jack Anthony is playing on Chris Dawes, his old teammate.
Lower throws the body in, and that hurt him. Tapped out of there by Sandilands. Trying to advance the ball was Hill. Comes across to 52 metres out. Vacant goal square. Looks good. He puts it through.
Just good sustained pressure there by Fremantle. The turnover came that Dale Thomas got on the end of, but it was Mzungu who got the ball back, and there's some good energy from Freo.
That's some good. It's a next generation starting midfield. You had Stephen Hill, you had Fife, you had Mzungu, all guys that haven't played a lot of footy, but they were the starting midfield. Good Fife, good player Fife. I just second-year player, but geez, talented.
Be surprised if he doesn't win their best and fairest. Had an outstanding year. They're talking about All-Australian calculations for Nate Fife. He's just got all the attributes. I mean, he's a fantastic athlete, uses the ball well, and seems to have great temperament with his work around the football.
Been one of the big success stories, hasn't he? Just 19 years of age. He's the only teenager out there tonight for the Dockers. Collingwood have got three. Sandilands, Barlow, Fife to Hill. I wonder if he could have a big match tonight, Hill. Well, Brown, who started his career in the purple haze, to Davis. Good kick to Beams.
Oh, Stephen.
Had a magnificent 4 or 5 weeks, Beams, after missing a lot of footy. He's come back and had so much of the ball, close to averaging 28 disposals over that period and kicking a heap of goals, 8 in the last 4 weeks. Oh, gee, Thomas cleaned up Ibbotson with a front honour. So away you go. It was Anthony to Clark, and then a long ball in. Tuvey to get back. Held his ground well, got down low, and he'll get a free kick. Just a bit sloppy, the Dockers, because Tuvey was gone, actually.
Sometimes that energy can translate to sloppy playing. I think it was Broughton on that occasion just getting down. Tuvey's going to put his head over the ball all the time.
Gee.
Jeez.
Do you look at that?
I think you do.
When you come off the ground like that?
If it's made contact to the head, that's when you're in trouble.
So Collingwood with Reid flipping it over the top to Johnson. Goes out wide. Goal set. Didak, great to see him back down towards the wing. Jolly takes the mark. Darren Jolly drives long down towards the attacking 50. Wood comes to the foot. He does nicely. Leading Forks. He's about 60 metres out. Miscues with a kick. It wobbles inside the forward 50, and Cracker, no stranger to this ground, takes the mark 35 metres out directly in front.
He was a little bit unlucky, Ibbotson, then. He actually had the goal side covered, but the ball, as you said, Dennis, wobbled off the boot, and it meant that Cracker ended up actually at the fall of the footy. So a little bit of good fortune then for Cracker to be in the right spot.
We're back him to kick this one. So in the wake of those fireworks to start proceedings, Cracker comes through.
Okay, what's an interesting contest going up there between Sandilands and Jolly. I mean, already in the ruck contest, even Jolly's big, but Sandilands is just too big. Is getting hand to the footy, but gee, when in the flow of play, Jolly is thinking, I'm going to be able to outrun the big fella, and which he's probably going to be able to do.
Well, they're two players, aren't they? Two ruckmen that can push forward. They know how to sit back behind the play. They've actually got genuine footy smarts.
Well, here's the Daisy Thomas-Ibbotson clash from just a few moments ago. That's just a good old-fashioned shirt front in the old days. Wouldn't have even been looked at. But the problem is now when you come off the ground and make contact with the head, they definitely look at those.
So that will be on everybody's mind, I'm sure, back in Melbourne, the Collingwood fans. Reid was terrific. Look at Swan, how quick he is in the high altitude of Arizona, you'd reckon. That's when you run the fastest times. Ibbotson gets it from Anthony. Big night for Anthony tonight, and Reid just picked it off. Just thinking aloud, Dennis, the last time Cracker played on this ground, was it the Waffle Grand Final? I guess they played the Waffle Grand Final here.
Yes, they do.
He had a massive match, didn't he?
He did, won the Simpson medal, kicked a few goals.
Pavlich, who I think had the op yesterday. So
hip operation yesterday.
Well, everyone waits, and then Beams takes it and kicks it a little bit wide. McFarlane allows it to run over the line with Anthony in hot pursuit.
You mentioned Dane Swan a couple of times. I don't know how quick he'd run at 40 metres, but gee, he runs a real quick 10 metres.
Doesn't he?
A couple of times when he's got that little short step running gait, so when he accelerates, he can really take off.
Fastest one in the world. The boundary throw in, knocked down by Sandilands, taken by Beams, and he snaps, and that's a beauty. Out of nothing.
Bruce touched on the form of Dane Beams, particularly in the last month, averaging 28 disposals a game. He's had 2 goals. He wins the ball in tight, but also out in space. He's really developing his career magnificently at the moment. Just so dangerous, has another fall. Didak's a player who's been down for Collingwood, and he's really stepped up, hasn't he, Lee?
You'd be annoyed there that Sandilands got clear hands to the footy, but hit it straight to a Collingwood player. Now, that's the ultimate hit out, but it's not a hit out to advantage. It's, in fact, a hit out to a disadvantage, isn't it? And they've got to do better with where the ball is directed from that ascendancy they've got in the ruck contest.
One of 16 premiership players out there tonight, Beams. So Collingwood get a fly here. 3-1. Free-flowing match. Lower. Mzungu. That's a good kick. He straightened it up and gave Fife the run. Davis will try and cut it off. And he does. Well, I liked it off the boot. I don't like it quite so much now. Always like Davis off the boot. What a weapon he is at half-back. I mean, he just runs and carries and then delivers. Side bottom, kicks inside 50. Dawes front spot. Anthony at the back, belts it over the line.
Well, the kick moments ago, Bruce, from Mzungu to Fife was the play was there. Fife made a fantastic decision at the centre clear stoppage to get out the front of the stoppage, but just shows you when you just miss your kick, can't afford to do that, and Davis swept up magnificently.
Wood in front, directs it down. Pendlebury, the cracker. Fife got him down. Well done by Pendlebury. Got a hand on the Palmer hand pass. Back into the congestion. They scramble after it. Pendlebury again stood tall. Subban going nowhere. Ball trickles out eventually. Hill found a way through. Not a particularly good hand pass. And it goes out of bounds. Byron Shammer, number 3. Out of favour for so long. There he is, getting a chance tonight. Thrown in outside the attacking 50. Wood just deftly lays it down. Swan close to the boundary line, beams in trouble, tries to feed it forward. Side bottom just takes it across the line gently. Another throw in. Collingwood lead it by 12 early going on Friday night. And as bookmakers betting against Friday night, we always deliver, Bruce.
Here, so lower down low.
Go to the chance.
So he missed the 2 games lower this year, both of them ironically against North Melbourne. One early in the year and then last week. He's had a good season off the rookie list. Clark over the top. Quick kick by Pendlebury, then Wood, who's had a little bit early. Duffield plays on, he's in trouble. Got a good handball away, actually. They might get out of this all right. Work it through the middle. Palmer back to Barlow, who had a handball earlier. Clark. Well, we're back where we started from with Duffield out wide. Good kick to Mzungu. Normally good with it. Ball in hand. Kicks to Borton. High tackle, free kick.
I reckon Thomas really hurt his thumb there too, applying a tackle. I don't think he's right, Thomas.
So Davis at the back, and now Didak. Good kick back to Goldsack. There's Thomas over the top. Hill getting in hard was Broughton over the top. Hill again. And the Collingwood player there, I think, is Goldsack. It is. Mzungu, what happens here? I think a ball up.
Straight up, hey!
He's certainly feeling that thumb, Thomas, that left thumb. We'll just see how that comes up in the next few minutes.
Bounce on the outer side. Wood towards the boundary line. Stays in. Hill been busy so far. Does okay. Subban gives it across to Palmer. Palmer floats it down towards full forward. Reid. Wonderful balance by Reid. Kept coming. Pendlebury tries to knock it across. Gee, they'll look at that too. Down goes. He'll have a busy night. Thomas is down. And hurt. Very dangerous by the man coming at him lower. And Lower looking at the Giants scoreboard there, maybe trying to work out just what he'll get for that. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's exactly what the game has tried to knock out. Actually, when a player's got his head over the ball, you've just got to, you can't get any contact on him. He looks like he's okay, Thomas, but that would certainly be a reportable offence, you would have thought.
That's the classic, isn't it?
There are a couple of clear indicators, obviously, the head over the ball, but when you go past the ball like Lower did on that occasion, just totally
laid the bump, head over the footy.
Well, good news that Dale Thomas is up and running off the ground, so that did look nasty. O'Brien's kicked to centre wing. Jolly in a wrestle with Fawkes and a boundary throw, and as Thomas makes his way from the arena. He's one tough daisy, isn't he?
Oh, sorry.
So Sandilands and Jolly, and then Johnson with pace to Tuvey, and the left footer out in space. So Woods had a bit of it early, gets a lovely bounce. Now he can deliver here, kicks the ball inside the 50, Dawes underneath, and Anthony takes a good mark. 50 goals for Collingwood a couple of seasons back, Jack Anthony. Leading goal kicker. Back to centre wing. Big fly from Fife. Couldn't quite hang on. The Sandilands' hands were good. And then Clark releases Pearce. Good kick forward. Johnson. There's a chance to get a goal here. Slow handball over the top. Crowley on. And Kepler's going to get one. So they get their second.
That was Johnson, who was a crucial player in that build-up by Fremantle, pushing off the tall. It's Wood, who's playing as a tall forward for Collingwood alongside Cloak and Dawes. And Johnson, a highly athletic player that will do that all day if given the opportunity. So that's one area of the grand game, I guess, Mick Malthouse will be wanting Cameron Wood to certainly tighten up on. As we see Thomas come back on with a bit of a crook now.
Got the one-man head of the footy, didn't they?
Yep.
Made it count.
Got on the end of it there, Kepler Brady. It's Michael Johnson who pushed off Cameron Wood, the tall Collingwood forward line player, through the middle of the ground.
Knocked down by Sandilands. In trouble lower. Taken higher by Jolly, and we'll have a bounce.
Now, I think my eyes are telling me that Sandilands is doing really well in the hit-outs, but Collingwood are 7-4 up in the clearances. So it's one thing to get your hand up top. You've got to get it down the bottom. That's a good one.
Inspired. He heard you, Lee. Got it down the lower. Kicks down towards the 50. Pushed out of it, O'Brien. Leading back in the race. Broughton close to the boundary line. Boots a ball. Does it stay in? Yes, it does. Johnson hooks it back towards the kick-off line. Bradley almost put it down. Goldsack. Well, that was ambitious. Goldsack got it. The hand pass away in just the nick of time, if it was that. Eventually comes across to Johnson to Pendlebury. He's dragged down. Well done by Broughton. Ball spills wide. In goes Barlow. Suddenly a bit of tempo. Beams kicks it out towards the wing.
Yeah, good stuff. Cloak ridden down for Solo. Does he keep it in? Oh, he does. And a boundary thrown in. Didak's in a blue with Subin. And Palmer and for Solo. So bit of fire in the game early.
Oh, there's energy, no doubt about it. Fremantle have come out, Broughton early, lower early. Obviously, Subin getting involved.
Sandilands pushes Jolly out of the way. Barlow running hard. Mzungu, he put him under the pump. He dropped it down, got a toe poke. Beams to Thomas, back to Beams. Good kick, Beams on the left. What a good quarter he's playing. And Dawes, great to have him back. Missed the last 7. I remember, Lee, you thinking early in the year, the really big plus they had was Cloak and Dawes together.
Yeah, Cloak's the moving, big, strong marking centre-half forward. Dawes plays off the full forward line pretty well. Though the two together, they're a very hard matchup. You need two really high-quality big defenders to take those two.
Well, he started the season in sensational style against Port Adelaide and North Melbourne. Kicked 30 goals last year. That's a big, big hook that won't even make the distance. Belted away. And Swan chasing on a boundary throw.
You always think he's missed a lot of footy, but he's missed it with a hand injury. So you always think he's probably been able to do the majority of the running training. So his condition shouldn't be too bad, given he's missed, what, 6 weeks or so?
7
weeks.
Entertaining start, this one, and Fremantle up and about. Clark from behind the pack. Opportunity for Beams. Missed by Thomas. He's over the football now. Tries to get the ball to Wood. Pushing the ball forward was Dawes initially. Stolen by Cracker. And Cracker kicks a miracle goal. Stealth.
Well, he's been light on his feet close to goal. We've seen so often this year when he's just been able to just slip the tackle, give himself half a step to be able to manufacture a quick snap at goal. It's been pretty much the Cracker specials quite regularly, that type of goal.
Always on the move. He just takes the ball with a bit of momentum. You never see him flat-footed anywhere on the football ground, particularly around a stoppage, and that's how he gets on the end of it so well.
Look at the sidestep. He'll let's have a look. Where's the body? Have a look for him. There he is. There. Just slips that tackle. He's just got great, not strong man, but great balance over the footy.
What a sensation. It's the old Rovers goal from the forward pocket, isn't it? I mean, Richo down on the boundary reckons he's the best sort of crumbing forward he ever played with in a long stretch at Richmond, and that was a good example. Palmer, Mzungu. Such a good athlete.
Very good pickup, hasn't he, Mzungu? Yeah. He's a good player. He's going to be a good player for them.
25 years of age, playing his first season, eh? So Pearce. Played a bit of footy this year, Pearce. Hasn't quite got himself a regular spot. Shamo, too slow, lower. He's been in trouble a bit tonight, lower, and he's in trouble there.
What was interesting on that one was that Sandilands pushed very deep into their forward 50, and Jolly only went halfway and created some confusion.
Well, Duffield was the third man up, and he wins it back to Shamar, and the ball, I think's rolled out. Not quite, now it has.
Just under 9 minutes till quarter time. Duffield back in the side tonight. Just about any able-bodied person down at Fremantle had a chance this week. Down to virtually 22 players. Here's Clark in the grasp over the top. Shammer slides to the ground, did well back to the lower, who decides to kick this time, goes short, and it works out okay. On the outer side, Broughton looks back towards the middle. Some danger in Harris's kick. Works out okay. Ibbotson. Now McFarlane. After a slow start this season, has really found some form. To Anthony. So just for the moment, the Doc is taking the sting out of things. I have to say, to a glorious night. Eventually, though, just chipping it around. Margin for error high on that last kick. Thomas able to knock it out of bounds. And clearly, he's something of a target, Thomas. Subban getting across to make his presence felt. Boundary throw in. Gunnerwood's right half forward. No ruckman touched it. Runs free at the back, taken by Johnson. Releases Swan. Swan hesitates, then gives it off to Tuvey. Perth boy drives it long downwards. Full forward, and a terrific mark is taken in front by Cloak.
That's a good mark. I mean, good opposition. He's a good player, McFarlane. And the ball looked like it was going to go too long, but he just was able to hold his ground, dig the stops in, put the hands up. Strong mark.
Really clever play here by Dane Swan. Yeah. Looked up and drew the Fremantle opponent, and a really fantastic kick from Tuvey. Just watch the mark here. Jeez, he's got some grippo on the hands there. I reckon just stuck.
Ball might not leave his hands when he kicks it.
Already this season a career high 59 goals, and he comes, gets his second of the night. 60 on the nose for Travis Cloak.
One of the things that impresses about Travis Cloak is exactly that kind of mark. Like, you're not going to take 10 of them again, but if you can take 2 or 3 or 4 marks where really it's just a genuine one-on-one contest, and you're strong enough to hold under the footy and take the mark, then it's really a 50-50 chance. That's become a bit of a special for Travis Cloak. He's taking 2 or 3 or 4 of them a week.
This goal was set up by Dane Swan getting the ball here on his defensive side of the stoppage. He was playing on Fife. Fife also went defensive side of the stoppage. Gave Swan far too much room, resulting in that inside 50 and goal. Good learning experience for the young player.
So Swan out of the centre. Quick hands by Broughton. Releases Barlow. Out wide. Main front spot. The Collingwood plays everywhere here. So Reid just left it for Brown. Advantage given. Brown got a high tackle. The kick to Ibbotson. So Ibbotson in board. Duffield cut it off. I think it was for Sandilands. Just a quickie on Cloak. That's 60 goals, as Dennis said. That's the first time a Collingwood player's kicked 60 under Mickey Malthouse. Yeah. You've got to go back to Sav Rocker in 1998 since a Collingwood player's kicked 60 in a season. So it's been a magnificent year. Mazungo should have taken the mark and a boundary throw in. I mean, you probably got 70s nearly heyday, did you, Lee?
Oh, yeah, no, well, he was a very good player. Kicked 10 one day, that first Anzac Day in 95 when he kicked 10 against Collingwood, against Aston. Just fantastic.
Boundary throw in outer side. Wood knocks it down. Cracker had it, lost it, comes behind the pack, taken by Subban. High ball out of bounds on the full.
There's been plenty of these off the ball. That's a great attack there by Daisy, getting a bit back, and then Broughton actually chased him back up and gave him another one. So that's been clearly a premeditated target.
Goalsack runs it up the ground. Still going, Goalsack. Very lucky. Just shrugs off the tackle and then I think unsettled by it all. And Ibbotson has put his shoulder out. Goalsack put the ball over the boundary. Bit happening. Free kick to McFarlane. Wasting no time. They're outnumbered because of Ibbotson coming off, and the mark is taken down there by Brown. Should I say more outnumbered, given the way they play footy these days. Goalsack goes back. Reid, such a good player. Moving for him, Tuvey. Tuvey is still on, but he wants to go longer. Bypasses Tuvey. Kicks beyond the wing. Loose ball at the back. It's going to be a free kick. It'll go to Collingwood. Advantage won't be paid because this ball is down near the 50. It's coming back.
Gee, that injury just might be growing still. So Ibbotson with the shoulder heavily bandaged. He's had an eventful opening term. He was the guy that Daisy knocked over early in the quarter. So Johnson's kick close to the line, and Jolly has taken a good mark, I think.
handy when your first ruckman can go forward and take a strong mark, isn't it? A great weapon, Jolly, when he can do that.
He's missed a bit of footy this year after all those... Gee, that's close, isn't it? Missed a bit of footy, but he has now played 8 of the last 9, Jolly, so that's good coming into the finals. One of the absolute keys to Collingwood. Improves the angle. I think he was going for goal, but he does set it up and crack it. Well, he nearly did it for the 3rd time, but he misses the hat-trick and misses the left. So Ibbotson injured.
Just the innocuous extra grab, you just see
the tackle. Yeah.
And just that's why he dropped the tackle, obviously. Just slipped out, lost all strength and popped his shoulder.
So Barlow, fine story that one. Getting back in this team and immediately playing good football. The ball's out of bounds. Reid sung his praises a lot already. And we've called his name a lot as well. He'll be knocking on the door of all Australian selection, you would think.
Oh, Aaron Sandlands, you're wrapping him up. Aaron Sandlands.
So that was the front position, backward wrap up. Fine to believe the umpire. Yes, it is. It's well described, not by me, but by the umpire. He picked it beautifully. Not sure the Beast could master that. Ball goes towards the outer side. Pendlebury slips it away to Didak. Runs down towards left half forward. Just sets it up for the tall timber. Clears the pack. Runs free at the back. McFarlane with dash comes away. Love to see a defender do that. They run the ball up the ground. Palmer slips a hand pass away. McFarlane kept on coming. Shammer with a chance.
And now Hill. A bit of magic from Hill. Back inside. Pearce has to release it. Was it high by Fasolo? It's a free kick against Collingwood. So some exciting stuff set up by McFarlane.
Huge swarm of Collingwood players converged on that contest.
Collingwood just cover the ground so quickly when they're defending, don't they? They're brilliant at it. Sandilands the target. It looked a slow ball, but he's such a giant that Pendlebury couldn't make an impression. Johnson at half forward. Late goal here would be handy. Dockers have been up and about, but they trail by 3. Main gets a fingertip. Clark. Down low, Crowley. Broughton, Hill. Still with Hill, couldn't quite. And now Swan comes away and kicks the ball beautifully out in front of Cloak. Down low for Solo. What a good young player he is. Picked it up with one hand and then drills it towards Dawes. Good effort though by Fawkes at the back. Boundary throw. Some good footy being played here in the opening term.
It was good footy by Dane Swan at the other end of the ground. Nullified Zach Clark in a marking contest and obviously does his best work at ground level.
Michael Malthouse coaching his 26th game against Fremantle. He's won 17 of them. Of course, those figures fattened up by the Western Derbies when he was with the West Coast Eagles. Won the first 9 Western Derbies. Coached 83 games on this ground with the West Coast Eagles. Knows it well. Sandlands brilliantly. Got it down to Clark to lower down towards half forward. Wonderful by Tuvey. Controlled it, took the mark. Unassuming defender. Goes towards the outer side. Davis. Indicated during the week, Davis, he might finish his football in Western Australia. Strange time to talk about that. Back in the team tonight. Didak out against the boundary line. Threads the needle. Free kick, side bottom. No doubting that. Side bottom. One that so often gets under the radar. Well, big assignment for Blair. Not to the front of the pack. There are only 2 up. Fife was the 3rd man there. Controlled the footy. Goes to Crowley.
Long way from goal, but he sets it up to full forward. Bradley gets into the back of O'Brien. Oh, gee, Reid again.
He's been good there, hasn't he, O'Brien? Drifts up his, not O'Brien, I should say. Reid drifted off his opponent, jumped 3rd up. We see him do that a lot, don't we?
It's the 5-metre protected area, both of you.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see Reid playing on Cloak.
I mean,
Reid, he's a good player, Reid, isn't he?
It's the footwork he does before he actually launches at the ball, just sums up the situation perfectly.
It's the confidence to lead your direct opponent to and go for the footy, rather than being opponent conscious.
Speaking of the Cloak, here he is getting a free kick against McFarlane. Just one-on-one, he's impossible to shift Cloak. That's a long kick. Cracker's free.
Andrew Cracker! Advantage!
Heard the umpire. Swan releases young Sinclair. Now he should go over the top, and he does. Side bottom can run into an open goal. and Collingwood have got 6 in the opening term.
We marvel a lot about Collingwood for all the special things they do, the skills they possess, but what makes them such a great side is just their work rate. They make really great decisions at the coalface, both offensively and defensively. And you know, an old-fashioned person might say that he's got out on the front and cheated his way to the forward 50 there, but it's just a really smart decision by Still Sidebottom to run offensively and get on the end of it.
That was the cracker free kick, but then it's the number of Collingwood jumpers that get there, and all of a sudden they just continually outnumber the Dockers player in the vicinity of the contest.
Sandilands gets it down to his own advantage and then kicks it towards half forward. In front was Crowley. Crowd wanted a 3-0 doing. Didak slips a hand pass away. Tuvey goes close to the boundary line, and the mark is taken out there though by Fawkes of the Dockers. Plays on, sells Barlow into trouble. Eventually they share it around. Fife went back to Duffield, who goes out to Pearce. Don King on the phone. He wants to talk about Reid versus Cloak with you, Brucey.
Be an easy sell, wouldn't it?
I'd say, yeah. I wonder if Mick ever gets bored and devises a game plan to beat Collingwood.
Well, if you read the paper today, he might be. Well, anyway,
he'll take the briefcase with him if he does. On the outer side, Broughton smelled it off the boot. It spills out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
Well, certainly Fremantle have got now in front in the stoppages. Their clearances 12-10. They're going okay, Fremantle. Collingwood are just too good, so they're ball goals in front. But I thought you would have thought Fremantle, a lot of good things are happening on what they're capable of.
So Sandilands, that's one of the good things, Lee. Sandilands has been really good. Mazungo gets it back and then belts it inside straight to O'Brien, who switches it. What an eventful opening term Thomas has had. To Brown, and then Brown to space. Look how quick Swan is. He runs it with little steps and off he goes. And Lee, the crazy thing, you feel like the Dockers have played well.
That's exactly it. They've played well. 4 scoring shots they're getting beaten by, which is obviously 4 goals, so they're 24 points behind. But they've done about as well as you can expect them to do.
After the boundary throw in lower, sends it very close to the boundary line out on the floor. What? Touch, says the umpire. Well, the former Docker, Bradley has a bit of a chuckle.
You sure? Yep.
I don't think so, Brad. Anyway, 7 seconds to go. Crowd don't know that. Just practicing their unruliness. Tossed in. Knocked down by Jolly and/or Clark, who flew late over the top. Pendlebury over the shoulder. Beams. Wait for the siren. Out of bounds on the full that time. So all's well that ends well. And I venture to say this is too far out unless Ballantyne runs onto the ground.
Was that ball kicked before the siren? Pardon?
The ball has to go over the boundary line before the siren to be a free.
Had the ball crossed the boundary line before the siren? Yes. It had crossed the boundary line before. So the ball had crossed the line. Okay. The ball had crossed the line. Mark's here. Mark's here.
It almost looks like a triangle too right there. The Bermuda Triangle of boundary lines. How about this? Humpy's got it right, no question. Johnson. This will take a very good kick. And the umpire will be watching if he runs off the line after what happened with Ballantyne. Well, Johnson makes a meal of it, puts it out of bounds on the full. So much happening, quarter time, Friday night football. Love what we've seen so far. Collingwood on top, but Fremantle doing okay. 6 goals to 2, a long way to go. Friday night footy.
They can find a target down there. They're right in this game, boys.
Reid, another 3 marks in that term. That's his forte, those defensive marks. One down by Jolly, Pendlebury, Johnson, sweeping hand pass. Side bottom, back to the run of Thomas. Goes out wide, coming up on the lead, sliding, taking the mark low down his Cloak. immediately wants to go. Good aggressive play, not such a good kick. Well, Hill spilled it. Blair, Didak, inside the forward 50. Oh, wonderful. Mzungu going back. Jolly was coming the other way. And Mzungu took the mark. Jolly's a big man. I point that out to Mzungu. He'll know that when he watches the tape. He was oblivious to it right there. Hill's got the footy.
She's got a name like a warrior, looks like a warrior, and he plays like one, doesn't he?
Jolly.
Roger.
It was some mark. Thomas on the up to Beams. Terrific opening turn by Beams. Just misses Didak. Blair's quick though. Runs onto it hard. Sweeps it to Wood. Wood from 48. Caressing to Cracker. Subin. Well done. Played it well in the end.
Here's the mark here. Stephen Hill dropped the one before, and that's just the opposite of it. Eyes on the footy there by Mzungu. Fantastic effort.
So Main in the back half. I mean, the main goal scorer through the year. Poor kick by Ibbotson. Goldsack is playing like he's got white line fever a bit tonight. Sinclair, good hands to Jolly, to Reid. Reid with that long lefty, but not a great kick, and Fawkes to chop it off. He's only played the 2 games against Carlton and Collingwood, so he's picked his company pretty well, hasn't he?
Yep. Here's Subin. Opposite pocket.
Thank you.
Maybe they contributed, Bruce, to the fact that, well, Carlton may have, at least, but he didn't play more than just the one. Didn't see that game, but obviously it didn't go too well. Over the top, Clark. It's going to be a free kick. It's going to the man who was jousting at ground level. So it's coming back and will be taken by Barlow.
Wow.
Barlow feeds it back inside the defensive 50. Duffield just jams it around the corner. Anthony from the Magpie. There's quite a few Collingwood supporters in the house tonight too. Subin back to Anthony. Anthony across the ground. They're looking to penetrate now. Hill is a raking kick normally, told to play on, cramps himself for room, so he gives this one plenty of air. Not initially his intention. As a result, wonderful work by Reid coming back. And some good blocking too. Safeguarding Reid's passage back has enabled him. You can see Jolly. It enabled Reid to get the footing.
Jack Anthony.
So Anthony's free. He only had 5 disposals in both the games he played this year. Anthony's up to 10 tonight, so he's doubled his yearly disposals. Fife running hard and then taking the cheeky bounce and then kicking the ball inside. Can they take a mark inside the 50? Bradley did well. He's already kicked one. He should kick a second. And he doesn't. He misses. He was up and about early this year, wasn't he, Kepler?
Yeah, had some really good patch. I mean, when Fremantle were really going, he was almost one of those bonus players. He had a really good patch.
Different role for Lee Brown tonight, obviously, with Chris Tarrant out having to anchor down one of the key defensive posts.
Fawkes over the top, got a fist on it, runs close to the boundary line. Pearce. You see Crowley not very happy, admonishes Pearce for that kick. He was on the short lead. Sometimes you can't always see them. Goldsack just jabs it along the boundary line, taken by Tuvey. So the margin as it was at quarter time, 24 points. Tuvey sends it high, just short of the wing from behind. Anthony does brilliantly, knocks it forward. Dangerous ball to contend with for Collingwood, but Fremantle helped them out. Cracker gets onto a loose ball. Johnson coming taken high, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Just watching the game at the moment, Fremantle adopting a really strong one-on-one mentality. So their work at the contest has actually been pretty good. Yeah. Where they need to get on top is that offensive running away from the stoppage, which Collingwood is just so strong at.
Looked a bit high in the zone. No free, though. Sandilands takes it out of the air, then a bit too tight for Subin. Swept by Swan. Fasolo protected the ball. Lower. Fife had to release. Thomas terrific. Lower. So Lower and Thomas together again, as they were in that fateful moment in the opening term and a boundary throw-in. Interesting players, that Clark, isn't he? You just feel like he's emerged in the second half of the season.
That's it.
So sweeps at Sandilands. Palmer wanting to give off, decides in to kick now. That's a poor kick. Gee, that's a poor kick.
They force you to kick short, Collingwood, because that's the exact reason why. If you kick long, there'll always be an overlapping free player.
But what about Reid? Just such a great feel for the game. Poor kick, and he's still on the end of it. Around the outer side, Beams feeds it forward, close to the boundary line. Wood goes back to Beams, kicks inside the forward 50 then. Missed in front by Fawkes, runs free at the back, taken nicely by Lower. Now running it up the ground, Subin comes close to the boundary line. Johnson committed, loose ball. Broughton leads back for the boundary line, too close. Matthew Richardson is prowling the boundary on a beautiful Perth night.
Well, that Reece Palmer long kick went 50 metres but landed on the 50-metre line. If you're going to kick long, you have to get it to the goal square, and he just had to find a short hit-up option there. The next kick then goes long. That's the difference with the Collingwood team. They go long to the goal square.
So this time, Jolly's free kick. Davis, lovely kick. Just perfect for Wood. Wood playing a lot in the forward line tonight. Good kick out wide to Cloak. Well done, McFarlane. It's been a contest. I mean, Cloak well on top, and McFarlane's had his moments. A lot of free kicks in the ruck tonight. There's Nathan Buckley, who Tom spoke to before the game, and Michael Malthouse.
Look at those magnets there. Not the typical sort of 3x3x3, just clunks of players. It's the modern game.
Pendlebury to side bottom, out wide to Jolly, had time to drop and set something up.
Right on the line of the 50. Sends it long down towards the kickoff line. Trying to force it behind was Anthony. Took a bit of a risk there. Went with the footy, and Tom has often said that's the tough one. Your arm's following the footy. Luckily for him, he made contact. 43 games for Collingwood. Jack Anthony, 80 goals. I mean, that's not a bad return. Bearing in mind when you start, you're a bit nervous. You don't kick goals that often front up, although he did. He had a great run going there at one stage. Ball's out of bounds. Short of the wing, we'll have a throw in. Jolly. Probably when he came to Collingwood, he turned out to be the final piece of the puzzle, the premiership puzzle. Clark works in front, knocks it down. Pierce falling to the ground. Mazungu, Main, good tackle by Davis. Back comes Jolly. Mazungu's got him. Well, Mazungu was going down, but Jolly was not going with him. 5 metres away, another struggle ensues, and the umpire eventually says holding the ball.
He dived on the footy back, Dave. Back it on behind it. He dived on it.
Umpire emphatic. Swan's got the ball. Ball goes against Lower. Shake of the head.
Swan in short. Pendlebury, or rather Goldsack, I should say, to O'Brien. Now Harry likes to load up, we know that. He gets a whole lot of that. Cloak front spot, brings the ball down brilliantly to Blair. What a great goal. What a team they are.
When you can play predictable football, and he obviously didn't lead for the ball, Cloak. The ball was just kicked on his head, but he's so strong from the front position. The ground level crumbers know the ball is going to come in very close to the front and to his feet. And whether it's Cracker or as it was Blair then, they just keep getting to the right spot in that really dangerous crumbing area, 10-15 metres out in front of the goal square.
Well, this is what we were talking about before. Collingwood had the loose player behind the ball, Harry O'Brien. He runs down the ground, takes an easy mark in the corridor, bombs it long to the goal square. Cloak gives a contest, and like any good small man, front and square, Blair, too easy.
Great blocking too by Cloak, just stopping Palmer. Speaking of the devil, Palmer's got the footy now. Comes out wide. Davis in front. Broughton got a fist on it. Main overran it. Picked up by Crowley. Gives it away to Hill. Whips a hand pass to Clark to Lower. Dropping back, Broughton takes the mark, close to the boundary line. So Broughton looks inside, sends it long down towards full forward, working in front almost Johnson, and then took O'Brien high, I fancy. Advantage is played. It was going to be O'Brien's free kick. It was just a touch, but it was high. Davis feeds the ball for Solo. Back in his hometown, gets a hand pass to Swan. Swan almost waits for Johnson to catch up. Back it comes inside to Pendlebury. They're sweeping down the ground, a line of black and white. Swan for Solo, lines up, goes long. Oh, wonderful team goal. That's a backbreaker.
there was something of a disputed free kick in that forward 50 for Fremantle, but once Collingwood got the free kick, didn't they spread? And that's what they just do so well. They spread to chase and tackle and pressure the opposition, but when they're in offence and they're running, they just kept overlapping, having the extra Collingwood player there to support.
Well, the last goal was a long kick in from Harry O'Brien, the front and square through the corridor. This one, the typical Collingwood play, built up around the boundary and just ran an absolute wave. You just see black and white absolutely everywhere. And for Solo, a class finish from outside 50.
Well, Sandilands tries to clear the pack, but he went straight to Thomas. So now Johnson getting a good kick forward, and Cloak running hard, taking the mark. Just a little too far out for him. He's a long kick, we know. Kicks to the pocket doors. Free kick against him. Subin from Anthony. Subin inviting Dawes to come at him and then kicks along the line. Front spot Johnson. Shammer gets a little kick away. Tuvey got a finger on it. Clever play there by Brown, but he just couldn't quite get a handle on it in the end. He tried to toe poke it to his advantage. Gang tackle coming on Goldsack and a ball up. Came in for the second grand final, Goldsack. Replaced Davis. Got the premiership medal. That's a terrific tap, but went straight through Main's legs for Solo. Back to Tuvey. Back to Brown.
Lee Brown, the old docker, slips a hand pass away. Beams, loops it over the top. Pendlebury needed a bounce, still going. Hard to beat in this situation. Neither player wants the footy. Stolen away by Fasolo. Went looking for support. Going to ground initially was Tuvey. Butters up again. Spills wide of the pack, taken by Pearce. Wonderful tackle by Beams, got him down. Tuvey, Sinclair, Davis. With the path of Pendlebury. Seems like he's got all day, and generally he has. It goes to Cloak, high, up and under. They come from all directions, sort of. A couple belated to go. Eventually, Cracker weaves through the pack, tries to lay it into the path of Swan, uses Blair as a decoy, turns around and kicks a goal. Nice, nice.
We speak a lot about Dave Swan's athleticism, and we sort of saw it there, that ability to be quick and accelerate, get to the front position, and basically he just did a right-hand turn within about 6 inches, dropped everyone off his back, kicked a really easy goal. But his balance is the key issue.
Just the footwork that Dane Swan's able to do at ground level, just has that really great ability to have awareness around the stoppage. It's a bit of it was the comparisons I made earlier in the year with Lee Matthews coming out of the square there. It's a fantastic form.
He's a clever duck, that Swan, isn't he? I mean, he just plays the percentages so well. Matter of fact, straightforward player, but collects so much of the ball and takes the right option. So Collingwood now with the last 6 goals, and they're really destroying the Dockers. Didak, that's a lovely weighted kick. Cracker, well played. Did it brilliantly. Should kick his third. He does.
Gee, they're flowing now. I mean, what we're seeing at the moment is just the sustained running. Fremantle were able to run with Collingwood reasonably well in the first quarter. But now when the ball goes into space, it's just a mass of Collingwood jumpers.
The effort's pretty good at the moment from Fremantle at the moment. As you said, just getting it out in space. And Richo, you know Andrew Cracker very well. The Perth boys enjoying it tonight.
He just doesn't go to ground, Tom. That's the difference. His opponent went to ground. Crack holds his feet, kicks an easy goal. But not only is he a good crummer, he actually is a good body player for his size. Works his opponents under the ball well and holds his feet. Very good player.
A lot of black and white in that crowd too. He feels right at home down there. Sandilands brushes the ball with his boot. Lowers tried hard as he kicks it down towards half forward. Davis coming across on the angle. Goes back. Tuvey. Sinclair. Sinclair gets it back from O'Brien. Just lobs it into the path of Didak. Didak making his own arrangements a bit out there, just getting plenty of the footy. Goes to Fasolo. Fasolo playing game number 10. 13 goals, including 5 against the Bombers back in round 19. There's Sinclair. Well, he missed the target. Mick won't like that. It was over the head of Johnson. He will like that, though. Thomas gets it down towards half forward. Well done by Dawes. Does the heavy lifting, including Clark. Put him down. Blair slips a hand pass away. Thomas uses the run past him by Johnson as a decoy. We've seen a bit of that. Goes down towards full forward. Getting back is Johnson. The other Johnson. Fox gave it across towards Duffield. Duffield goes to Mzungu.
And Mzungu takes his time. It's a pretty good kick, actually. Bradley had to either control it or take it out, and he did neither. They might get away with it. Subin to Lower. Dennis has talked about Lower's effort so far. He tried to dribble it as far as he could. Brown swept it to side bottom, to Didak, to Wood, back to Didak. Now Didak thinking to Swan now. This was on the goal, you'd reckon. Swan's 50 foot. Well, won't with that. Still might. In the pocket. Boundary throw in. Richo saved me from defeat.
Ibbetson's gone, Bruce. That shoulder popped out for a second time in this contest. It was a brave effort by him to go back on. They retaped it. It's obviously very loose, that shoulder, and they've had to sub him off. Hinkley is now into the game.
Boundary throw in. Sandilands could have been in the back of Jolly. Jolly makes a point with the umpire. Meantime, it comes to Clark, goes back to Johnson. Slips a hand pass away to Tooby on his knees. Johnson tries to bollock his way through. And he's getting a free kick for a high tackle. Johnson spotted something. You can see he goes down towards the pocket. His eyes lit up like a couple of sherrins. And he finds Pendlebury on the boundary line. Now, nothing is beyond this young man.
Just the one kick tonight for Scott Pendlebury. The 11 possessions, the one kick, 10 hand passes.
That's okay. I thought for a minute you were saying one possession, Tom.
No.
Pendlebury just jabs at it, misses virtually everything, forced across the line by Sandilands.
Fantastic season again. I think he'd be challenging Swan and Cloak, and probably for the Copeland. There might be one or two others who've had such a season with Thomas. Another one you'd think of, Davis.
Looking at his numbers for the year, he's almost a complete player. He has the perfect balance between kicks and hand passes, contested, uncontested, tackles, clearances. Outstanding.
And decision making, eh? As good as it gets. So that ball belted back in. Cracker. It's been lively. Here is Pendlebury. Lovely kick. Swan cut it off. I think it was Didak's ball, but Swan just goes bang, crash. A bit like Lethal Lee there. A goal. Now, that was a bit like him.
You mean, Bruce, don't let anyone else have a shot at goal because they might miss. Is that what you mean?
Now, I mean courageously winning the ball under pressure and building two blokes over and kicking a goal.
No, well, I must admit, Dane Swan, the low centre of gravity, the quick change of direction, all that kind of thing. I mean, nearly that's one of the great strengths. Just so strong over the footy and good ball skills, but terrific balance and strength. See Swan in the foreground. He's actually been up on the 50-metre line, just keeps pushing into space. He just keeps making himself available, doesn't he?
Hit the nail on the head too, Bruce, with Scott Pendlebury. It was a fantastic decision, just summed it up. Hit Swan. Goal.
Good bounce back in the middle. Wood first hand to it. Barlow's over it. Needs to be careful. Gets to his feet. Side bottom kept on coming. Lower. Got it back to Hill. Broughton. Hinkley. Now Hill's away. They need more of that. He kicks down towards half forward. Shammer leads back in the race. Opportunity to the wonderful closing speed. Just got to him. He had to make up 3 metres. He did that in just a couple of strides. So he's feeling very comfortable at the moment. Michael Malthouse, 69-13, approaching half-time.
We've seen Collingwood right at their top here. Didak building the ball out to centre wing. Good mark for Solo. He's never played in the losing team. Dennis talked about 10 matches, how many goals, all been wins. Not suggesting he's a lucky charm. I think they were a fair team before he came in. Pendlebury's long ball inside. Jolly sets himself, takes a couple out. Dawes got a bad bounce. Anthony's played okay. McFarlane Stretches Dawes now, takes a bounce, runs his measure and kicks it terribly. Oh, just in touch, I guess, but just got it all wrong in the boundary throw in.
From our vantage point up here, we just get a great look at the way Collingwood defend as a team. They have man-on-man mentality, but then also have that ability to roll off into each other's opponents. And when McFarlane looks up, he sees nothing but a wall of black and white.
Reaching over the top, Clark. Got it down to Lower. Bounces it out of bounds. So Lower's doing his job. Mark Harvey, well, I don't know what he's thinking at the moment. I suppose he might be working on a aerodynamic pig. Boundary throw in. This is not going to end well, you think, for the Dockers, but their footy hasn't been bad, actually. Great experience for them. Here's Hill. Drives inside the forward 50. Pitches about 15 metres in from the line and goes out in front of Johnson.
They've just been terrifically efficient tonight, Collingwood. They kicked 11 goals through, so they've been accurate. They've just been so precision-like when they went. They've gone forward. The Dockers have been competitive, but they're just getting thrashed on the scoreboard.
So Clark got in front of Wood, won the tap. Johnson, good smother by Lower. Goldsack, Swan, got a bit on it. Bang, crash, no free kick. Bit stiff there. One of the Collingwood players is hurt. Get back to it in a moment. Broughton, Sinclair in hard, Forks to Main, to Hill. Well played by Sidebottom. The harassment superb. Hill played it well. Gets it across to Hinkley. Smothered though by Tuvey. Taken down by Main. Good contest. Duffield off a step. Gets it inside the 50. Belted forward by Broughton. Pace coming from Davis. Back to Fasolo. And Collingwood stand up again to Thomas, who for once, well, Nilly does he daisy. Oh, he kept it in, so the umpire said. And then Johnson to Didac. Normally it's Didac doing those tricks. And that
Downfield.
Throw before.
Downfield. Bump on Didac. Time back on.
So Daisy with a bit of magic, eh?
That's a throw.
That was many things. But these umpires, I think the boundary umpires in particular, are entranced by Collingwood's score.
You've got the free. Go and take it, mate.
Not sure whether the boundary umpires at Subiaco have had a very good patch of footy.
It wasn't against you. Yeah. Scott, this is it here.
Notice, Tommy. Who was in The Illusionist? That was a good movie,
Guy
wasn't it?
Pearce.
Was he? Sure.
Hugh Jackman, maybe?
Oh, maybe. You're generally a genius with those. I came to you thinking he'll nail this. Meantime, back at the game, Pendlebury does and puts it through.
A bit of fun night to Pendlebury. He's not going off interchange quite as much, just going into the forward line and having a bit of spell off the ball. And one thing you know about Pendlebury, he's got sort of size, so he's a very hard matchup. He's almost a key position size. He's probably 6'3" in the old measurement. He's got plenty of height.
Darren Jolly's down in the Collingwood rooms at the moment. He walked past us before. He's got a cut on his left hand. There was a fair bit of claret coming out of it, so I reckon he's probably gone down to have some stitches and get it cleaned up.
So Pendlebury sits it out. He's one of 4 Collingwood players to have played every match, Pendlebury. Free kick to Lower. And quickly plays on. So Fife draws the man. Clark running onto it. In a step, kicks to fall forward. Bradley almost. Well, it wasn't, but it would have. And now Davis running out wide. Gets it to Sidebottom. And then Sidebottom down the line to Swan. No Collingwood players ever won 4 Copelands in a row. Swan might be the first to do it. His second half of this season has been magnificent. Beams his long ball in forward. Didac looking for a goal. He hasn't kicked one for a long, long time. Subin off a step. Gets it out wide to Barlow and he takes the mark. Well, it's like they're playing against a force that is just irresistible here tonight. Five. You look at Collingwood in this form and you say that nobody can beat them.
Yeah, well, they've been good tonight, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, they're really having a go, Fremantle, and they've been competitive, but I'm not quite sure how classy they are. Certainly tonight, they're way out of their depth.
voice of reason. I'm pleased he's here.
Missing many of their elite players, of course. Clark hooks it down behind. Hard to replace the good ones. Hill over the top. Hinkley. Talked about lower tonight. 17 possessions. Equal game high. Here's O'Brien. Floats one towards. Oh, what a good mark at right half back, or right half forward as it was. Left half back. It was Anthony. He just chipped it. Took something off the kick. It stays in. Fife. Up and dancing. Barlow finds a way through. Oh, terrific by Blair. Got in his bike and brought him down. O'Brien, a hand pass. Well, they're playing in a phone box out there. The same guys eventually. Barlow throws it on the boot. It bounces towards the wing. O'Brien will send it the other way. It's kick to kick. Down towards the 50. Cloak brings some sanity. Takes the mark on his chest. Wheels around. Sweet contact. It's going to be a goal.
Holding! Holding the man!
Holding against.
They're holding down. Mark's back here.
Right on the goal line. They've called it against Didak.
It's the arm over the shoulder. Geez, it looked fluent from Travis Cloak, didn't it?
Gee. Didn't appear to be a hold. He didn't call it high. Here's Beams. Good tackle by Fife. Beams got boot to ball. Clark, we've seen this before, a sense of deja vu. Barlow's got the football, got it from Pearce. In short, Johnson slips a hand pass away. Main, Hinkley through midfield. Wayward kick though, it favours Davis, the defender. This will be interesting. Davis, well, I was going to say, wouldn't want to take it out of bounds.
He slipped over. Come through, mate.
Really impressed with Leon Davis tonight. Crowley's trying to play the defensive forward role, but Davis is playing his game, defending when he needs to defend, running into space. Interesting call, that one, even with video, isn't it?
It just looked like a good contest, didn't it? Anyway, Cloak was bad luck for him because it's a great kick. Hinkley's ball. Now that could bounce. Oh, no, Brown getting back. So Lee Brown started his career here.
You see Lee Brown, and I think that's been the inclusion of Tarrant obviously out. Wood comes in. They're looking at Lee Brown to fill a defensive role. I don't think we'll see Lee Brown play anywhere other than the back half, and just looking at another option for the Pies for the finals.
He's the utility, isn't he, Lee Brown? He was taken 5 in the draft when the Dockers got him. Pavlich, by the way, was taken 4, 1 in front of him. And Hayes will be at 2. Heard the call, not 15. Tuvey, back to O'Brien, to Reid, to Pendlebury. Wide to Wood. Asked a bit of Wood, and he does step it over the line. He's gone, I think.
No, he's laid on the tackle.
Good call. Saw the umpire rushing him, but it was had nowhere ready to go there, Wood. He's looked okay, hasn't he? He's had 11 games this season, so he's getting a bit of footy. So Palmer breaks the tackle.
Across the ground, centre half forward, taken by Hill. Johnson, well, he just stopped. Opportunity for side bottom. Hand passes it forward. Mzungu against the tide. Missed the footy. Crackers away. Alongside for Solo. Going past in the getaway car is Didak. Didak on the 50. Vacant square. Will it bounce wide of the mark, through for a behind.
The turnover started there from Collingwood. It's just a swarm of numbers. It's the old-fashioned outnumber the opposition. You see on screen there might be 2 Fremantle players, but then there'll be 3 Collingwood players or 4 Collingwood players.
So Jack getting back, and he goes in short. And Palmer. Palmer out of the back pocket. No, put this out of bounds on the full. That's just untidy. It's not as if he was aiming at a small target. Grandstand almost coming at him there with Sandilands.
So Reid got it from Wood, and then to Johnson. Now Johnson careful with the left, but a poor kick taken by Sandilands. Just looking up the record books, courtesy of Josh, the biggest margin the Dockers have ever trailed by on this ground at halftime is 60 points. So at the moment they trail by 62. Can they do something about that in the last few seconds? They've got the right bloke with the ball. Hill, he's running out of room, and now he's running out of ideas because Collingwood bring him down, and they will lead by the most that anyone's led the Dockers by at halftime as they bring the ball through the centre. And the irresistible Pies lead by 62 at the long break. So half-time here, incident-filled first half. Collingwood kicking all the goals in the second quarter. They lead by away 76-14 on Friday Night Footy.
Jump all night. Travis Cloak with the 2 goals, slightly on top of Luke McFarlane.
Such a pretty night in Perth as we continue Friday night football. Great bounce to start this second half. Jolly wins it decisively. Down to Thomas, who could be in trouble at the tribunal. Broughton's got it now and gives it away straight back to Thomas. Thomas comes out wide to Swan, coming up for his 19th possession. Jolly is on in the middle. Takes a while to spot him, but eventually gets the ball there. He lays it off. Beams 55 metres out. Gives this one a ride. I think it's going to be okay. It is. Long range goal for Dane Beams. That's his second.
Well, they're good enough as it is, Collingwood, but their accuracy tonight, there's kicked 13 goals for, but in fact they've kicked 13 goals won. The three of those behinds were rushed behind, so their efficiency of actually scoring from shots at goal has just been outstanding. They've been good in their general ball skills, but their finishing has just been outstanding.
And you mentioned the ball skills. There's the stark contrast there, the turnover from Fremantle. This is what Darren Jolly, it's a real X factor for Collingwood. He's got an ability to spread offensively from a stoppage, and we've spoken about Dane Beams last month, averaging 28 disposals and a couple of goals. He's in that sort of form again tonight.
Darren Sandlin's always going to have trouble running with Jolly, but when he's missed a lot of foot, he's going to really struggle.
So Beams multiple goals for the 8th time this season. Lower had a pretty good first half, a lot of the ball.
You just grabbed him and dragged him down. You're holding him.
Just sloppy.
The league talked about the match-up at half-time. And Davis has had another win here, hasn't he?
Yeah, hasn't been phased at all. He's handled that defensive
Mark's
pressure
here. Get away, Harry.
really well.
Mark's here. Time back on.
Helps, of course, when your team's 10 goals in front. The pressure's a little bit less on everybody within the team, isn't it?
So loads it up and kicks the ball to about 25 metres. Front spot was Fawkes for Solo. It's a good overhead mark for Solo. And he had a crack at that as well. Swan on hands and knees, on his back now. And a ball up.
Just interchange Stewart. Crowley straight off. Be interesting to see to get straight on the phone. Just gave Leon Davis a free one there. Mark Harvey would be disappointed with that.
Can't speak too highly of Lower getting those hard balls around the packs. Battling his heart out. Not always to good effect. Five comes away and drives it towards the wing, but he hasn't stopped trying, Lower. Meantime, Reid doing what he does best, another defensive mark, and then finds a teammate. What a player Reid's become. This is Thomas. Comes back to Davis. Davis across the ground. And Reid, moments ago, had the footy on this side. He just took off. That's hard running. Hard work. Rewarded with the football. Now some indecision. Just pops it over the top. Bounces obligingly for side bottom to O'Brien. Feeds it forward to Davis. Now they can run hard. Side bottom looks inside the forward 50. That was meticulous. Attention to detail. Just worked it out perfectly. The transference to the outer side and then straight through the heart of the Fremantle defence.
Played with a lot of energy early, Fremantle, and they were competitive, but it's going to be a tough second half, one would suspect. Just the way this is building, Collingwood are just starting to absolutely cut them apart with ball in hand.
So 8 disposals, but 3 goals for Andrew Cracker. And he's missed a couple. And he's missed this one way out to the right. When he misses badly, but then again he kicks some freakish goals. Short one comes in. Palmer takes the mark.
Well, both the misses, Dennis, have been the set shots tonight. So 5 shots on goal, 3 goals. Mzungu liked his game. Sloppy handball. Rickon Hill's first half was encouraging against the odds, and then running out of room. The ball still in play. Davis belts it back. Swan and Davis, clever by Davis, and there's Swan's pace. He just accelerated into the ball. Handball, a little bit awkward. On the up there was a Beams, back to Swan. Such an engine. He's a remarkable player. So Reid to buy some time, and then sweeps the ball, side bottom and Fawkes. Johnson close to the line, sweeps it forward, Lower again. He's had a combative match and done well. To Palmer. Wanted to release it to Barlow. Couldn't quite. And then poor handball. O'Brien's off. He knew Clark, I think, was on his shoulder, and that's a free to Broughton, I think. Didn't mean it side bottom, but he lost control of the ball and ran over the top of Broughton.
Harry not having the season he had last year, that's for sure, though. Jumping about as he came up the ground there, and he sort of unsettled his teammate, I think. And the hand pass wasn't that flash. Here's Davis. Just loops it to Pendlebury. Takes the mark, runs on. Cloak on the lead. Now they've got an extra man inside their forward 50. How did that happen? The ball goes long down towards full forward. The extra man was up.
Jolly's extra man,
they've got about 3 on the ground as a result of 2 Fremantle players up. But that's what happens. Crack up to Wood.
And that all happened because Jolly's just running Sandlands off his feet now. Just Sandland's got stuck back in the centre square. Jolly's charged into the forward 50. That gave Collingwood the extra play. It was only a matter of keeping their head and working out who was going to kick the goal.
See Sandlands on screen there with his fellow midfielders trying to work it out.
Been good in the stoppages, but once he spreads, he's in trouble.
Don't say the first decision. Get on Jolly when he pushes forward.
This goal here was created by Travis Cloak there. His work rate to push up and create that easy mark about 80 metres out gives them the opportunity to be able to drive the ball in long to these sort of contests, and they're unstoppable in that mode. Down the other end, Freo just cannot get any of that hit up across half forward, and that's why they can't get it inside 50.
They've done all right, as we know, in the clearances all night, so they've worked hard here and it hasn't gone anywhere. Back to Hinkley, poor hand. Well, I thought he meant for lower, but it went to Fork, so they got away. Back to Hinkley, off a step, high ball to about 50 metres from home. Since halfway through the first quarter, it's 11 goals, 5 Collingwood to 2 points. At one stage, they led 18 to 12, and now they lead 89 to 14. Died out. Was that a throw by Woody? Looked like he threw it forward, and Blair's kick to Fasolo. Docker still on the ground there. Fasolo quickly on, puts it out in front of Pendlebury. Takes a good mark, and there's it. Lee, I think you talked about the fact he's 6'3" in the old.
There's an injured player back there.
There's a Dockers player hurt on the wing from that marking contest.
Who is that?
Well, that was with Cameron Wood when he jumped at the foot. He jumped in the... And these are Forks. I'm not sure who it is. We can't tell from this angle.
I tell you what, it was courageous.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, gee, it is Forks. Poor boy, eh?
Never question the courage of the players just to get out on the field. That's 2V-esque from earlier in the season. That you don't want to see that.
No.
You can't legislate against that, can you? I mean, that's the game of footy.
No, that's the contact of it all.
And just watching it in replay, it may have been, and this sounds sort of trite, but it just glanced. It didn't get him flush.
Yeah, hopefully,
and that might be the only thing. Well, it's going to be bad, I'd suggest, anyway. But hopefully he's okay.
There's often that debate about the physicality of footy over the generations, and as we know, most of the deliberate rough stuff has been officiated out of the game. But the game is more dangerous in the modern era because players, one, are so brave, and secondly, they're just keeping their eye on the footy, and players are incidental contact from all angles. Sort of makes the game more dangerous than it used to be.
I think it's a double-edged sword. I think the players obviously stronger, fitter, all those sorts of things, but there's just so much scrutiny that if, I mean, you hate to say it, if Forks had pulled out of that conversation, that contest, we'd be talking about that. And just eyes on the ball the whole time. We feel for parents and family in these situations, and we just hope the young fella's okay.
But that was almost above and beyond there, Tommy, wasn't it? I mean, he could have, I reckon, pulled out of that, and very few people would have known. I mean, it could have been that he turned around and just watched the flight of the footy. I mean, to go back on a leading big man, wow.
There's no doubt, though, Dennis. I reckon players now they know the scrutiny they're under. There's so many, shows covering football and camera angles that you know that if you do pull out, it'll probably be highlighted. And there's no doubt players now are braver than they've ever been.
But that was right on the margin, that one. He could have almost, as I say, I don't think he would have been called for that one, but he knew no other way. So a lengthy delay now, and we know he's in good hands. So Fremantle, what a remarkable run of injuries they've had this year. Just about everything. has affected the football club in terms of the kind of injuries they've had. This gives Collingwood, I guess, a chance to cool off.
Yes, he was a little unlucky. Ball grab went over his head. He really turned and only went one step, but all of a sudden, as he turned, Woods coming the other way, just couldn't avoid.
The knee didn't stop with the face. It sort of kept on going. So just hopefully that's the good news.
So the delay continues. They've just been very careful here.
This is as long a delay as I've seen in a situation like this, and you just see some of the players from both clubs getting down and going through their stretching routines, making sure that they're keeping themselves as supple as they can to go again. I guess from a Fremantle point of view, you've got an opportunity to reassess and just drive back some of the messages that were delivered at half-time. From a Collingwood point of view, they just need to make sure they maintain the momentum. But when there's been such a break in play like this and one of your teammates have been down for such a long time, from a Fremantle perspective, you do have those thoughts and start to wonder how he's going, and it's not a good feeling when there's a break in play like this early.
It has to be a very eerie feeling when there's a large stop in play while an injured player is being attended to.
It probably serves as a reminder to every player on the ground, not just Freo, but the Collingwood players as well. You get a lot of time to think here, and they're aware of the risks anyway. It just reinforces them, particularly with a game you would say all but over. 75 points.
See young folks here. I'm sure he was talking to the trainer.
So it sounded like he was conscious,
which is positive.
He's 23, just his second game tonight. Played a couple of weeks ago against the Blues, and now his teammates are coming over to wish him well. Barlow, who's, well, his injury was a very different one, of course, but in his first season as a mature age recruit, just like Fawkes, and then Lower goes over as well. He's had a second chance in footy coming from Port Adelaide.
I think he's looked quite good tonight, folks. There's some times where he's had the ball in hand and made some good decisions. He's obviously very brave in the air and looks a likely type from a size point of view. So hopefully the diagnosis is a positive one for him and to bounce back.
Well, just a couple of games. Bruce made the mention earlier. This is only his second game of the season. And I don't think footy clubs forget that sort of thing. And if they do, they should.
That's for sure.
It is worthwhile mentioning that all the AFL clubs now have absolutely first-rate medical officers and trainers, and so he'll be in the best possible hands. Will get checked out down in the rooms, then I'd imagine probably go to the hospital to get the appropriate scans, and couldn't be in better health.
See his mouth just moving there.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can't remember too many longer breaks played in this one. This is very lengthy.
And you can take, I mean, you obviously want to take the time. They've made sure that they've ticked every box possible. As I mentioned, highly skilled, highly trained professionals handling this situation.
Because that really is the danger zone, isn't it? Involving the neck and the face and the head. He seems to be wide awake.
Might be a nasty gash on his chin, I think, just under his mouth.
So a brave act, and let's hope that the end result is a good one. So after all that, Pendlebury lines up for his second goal for the night. He's kicked it well, so Collingwood go to 15 goals.
Yeah, it's interesting when you to this stage of the game. I mean, Collingwood have got the game won. It's sort of what happens from this point onwards. Can Fremantle just sort of dig in and show a little bit of fight? Collingwood look like they're relishing the game tonight. I saw them play last week and they looked a bit bored for the game half the time, but tonight they're really on.
In a weekly column about 2 months or so ago, Scott Pendlebury interviewed Nathan Buckley and spoke about the one area of his game he wanted to improve, which was his contested marking. So Bucks will be pretty happy with that one.
Play restarts 7 minutes from the time that mark was taken to the kick. Pendlebury immediately back in the action again. Fumble from Swan. Peter Fawkes, who's off the ground, will keep you updated with that. Wood goes back to Swan, to Johnson. Tuvey, Johnson finds a way through. One down from behind though. Well done. Hinkley getting him and winning the free kick. Speaking of Peter, very much a journeyman from Oak Park, Calder under 18s, the Sydney list, Williamstown, and now Fremantle. He's paid his dues, that young man. And the ball close to the boundary line. Davis stood up in a tackle, feeds it back. Wood has done nothing wrong tonight. Swan, O'Brien. O'Brien lobs it back towards the kickoff line and Reed. And they've got 2-on-1 up the ground, coming across very quickly to try and close that down. Is Duffield and succeeds. So they go around the outer side, and Wood stretches over Kepler Bradley to take the mark. Releases Johnson. Johnson to a contest. Anthony did well again. Got it on the ground. Hill, ineffective hand pass for Solo.
Continues to impress for Solo. Dawes, little scrubby kick inside, and then Didak on the up. Blair running very hard and then has a shot from a long way out. And that one not quite making it. Duffield to bring it back in. So the Dockers get the ball out quickly, which hasn't happened too often. Palmer to Lower. Lower, who looks certain to, well, face the tribunal and get matches, to be truthful. For his head high. That's a poor kick on Thomas early, just over the top of 5, and that handball was wayward by Hinkley. And Collingwood with good numbers. Pendlebury again, all the time in the world. Didak trying to get his way through. Didak turning and then kicking the ball beautifully to the lead of Fasolo. Thomas read it magnificently, could have gone for goal. Brings young Sinclair into the picture and he misses.
Saw 3 great decisions there. The first one was Pendlebury. Looked like he had all the time in the world. Dropped it short to Didak. Didak didn't blaze away. He found the target also, and even the handball from Daisy Thomas. To see a collision there. Drew Sinclair's just terrific decision making.
Big Lee Brown just standing his ground. Hinkley bouncing off. Sandilands to a stationary target there in Hinkley. Or was it Palmer? Palmer slipped the hand pass away. Kick comes down towards half forward. This is Hinkley. Does nicely. Goes back to the voice, Pierce. Now Sandilands, too nimble. Sounds strange, I know. He kicks inside the forward 50. Getting a fist on it down there in defence was Brown. He butters up again, goes to Swan. Nonchalantly across to Davis. Runs to right half back. Comes up towards the wing. Lovely kick. Spotted Dawes. Dawes to Pendlebury. Johnson on the overlap. Runs beyond the wing. Probing kick inside the forward 50. Getting back and doing well in defence. Subin across the body. Awkward bounce for Fife. Hitting the ball hard. Muzungu. Still he goes, Muzungu. Well done, Cracker. And Cracker earned himself a free kick. Advantage is played. Johnson to Fasolo.
Off a step, long ball in. Thomas outnumbered. But he gets a fist away, and then Blair was roving it, and a boundary throw in. They're ruthless tonight, Collingwood, aren't they? They're not going to let up, you feel.
Maybe from the week against Brisbane Lions, when Brisbane got within 3 goals. Wanted to make a statement on foreign turf.
Yeah, I think there's been a punch out of bounds.
I wonder if he'll have a shot here, Didak. Now, he hasn't kicked a goal. I think in his last 9 matches, Didak, he was sub a couple of times. He's had just a year where he's had little rhythm, but he's good enough from here. We know that. It's a good kick. Is it going to be a goal? Not quite. It's a behind. I wonder if he can implode coming, or not implode, but if he can impose himself coming into the finals. He's in a funny position, Didak. He's gone from them, in many ways, their main man to almost a cameo type player this season.
It looks like he's lost a yard at the moment. Just at this stage of his footy and his fitness, he just hasn't got the zip that he's had in previous years.
Well, Hill backed his skills there along the boundary line to Bradley. Bradley gets a hand pass to Fife. Fife goes towards half forward and Barlow. Knocked away by Tuvey. Standing his ground was Lower. Lower slips a hand pass to Shammer. Shammer, haven't called his name a lot, goes down towards the pocket. Oh, brilliantly done by Brown. Got it down to the advantage of a teammate. He couldn't pick it up, so Brown went and got his own footy. And they bring it out again. Reid gave it to Blair. Or was it Beams? I think Beams put it to the outer side inside bottom, who just oodles around the outer side. Kicks it beyond the wing. Dawes in front ends a free kick.
Just watching the Fremantle defenders, they haven't quite got the same synergy as the Collingwood back six in alleviating the loose man to cut off that sort of kick.
It was one of the few blemishes, though, against Anthony tonight.
50 metres. In the protected area.
So against Maine, you heard the umpire.
Do we know the rule about not having, you know, that 5 metres either side of the kicking line? But sometimes you're just standing there. He just sort of veered into it. It's an unlucky 50, isn't it? I know that's the rule, but still unlucky.
He hasn't had a kick tonight, Chris Main. He's had half a dozen handballs. So Cloak, 60 goals for the season. We've talked about that. First Magpie under Mick Moldhouse to kick more than 60 in a year, and he gets his third for the night.
Been completely shut down Fremantle scoring. I mean, as we know, they've kicked 2 behinds since quarter time. Haven't actually kicked a score in this quarter. Every time the ball goes anywhere near the Fremantle forward line, the Collingwood defence swarming all over them.
It's a bit of a complicated thing I'm about to say. They, I think, by the end of the season, may have the lowest score kicked against them in a 22-round season. At the moment, it's the Saints, but they're going to get very close to that. So not only is their attack being brilliant, their defence has been miserly.
Young Peter Fawkes has, they've called for the ambulance to Freo doctor. He is conscious. He's obviously not in a great way. He's going to be taken to hospital for some further tests, so we wish him all the best and hope that it's not too bad. But they're now down that one extra man on the bench too. Only 2 rotations for Fremantle.
Sandilands thumps it down towards half forward. Johnson left it behind. Fife upended. Pendlebury did nicely, falling to the ground. Beams. Johnson, well, virtually stood in the one place and beat about 3 of them, but eventually the 4th did him in. Fife gives it across towards Lower. Lower got boot to ball, but it's all Collingwood wide of the pack. Pendlebury, Swan, now Beams. Tattoos are plenty. They're on the move, like they're wearing camouflage. It goes down towards half forward. Came from Swan. Wood can't keep it in. It's out of bounds.
Just the way they use the ball is just amazing, Collingwood. They've had 80 disposals for the quarter at 90% efficiency.
That's ball use, isn't it? That's fantastic.
Interesting situation for young Wood too. I mean, if he plays a blinder and got the 3 Brownlow votes, problematic, it'd still make the team certainly beyond next week.
Mzungu down the line. Sinclair cuts it off. Well, Wellingham, certainly they want to try and get back in. We know that Shaw will come back in for the finals, and hopefully Nick Maxwell as well. So someone's going to miss out somewhere, aren't they? So Goldsack, and of course Tarrant to come back in, which frees Brown as the second ruckman, doesn't it? Which may take Wood out of the equation.
That's their preference, isn't it? I mean, they want Brown because he delivers so much.
But the good thing, I think Lee talked about, the good thing, they've given Wood enough footy this year that if Jolly went down, at least they've got a fit ruckman.
And he's looked better and more complete this year than any other year I've seen him play. So he looks a reasonable fill-in, which is probably what he's going to be for Jolly, as it turns out.
Meanwhile, they just keep rolling the ball on, and then Davis kicks to the pocket. Good contest. Well done in the front by Lower. Wanted the mark. Blair running hard, rolling it, and getting back was Johnson. But some of that stuff at centre wing, I mean, they are a machine, aren't they? 90 points the margin. McFarlane, Subban looks up. You can see black and white everywhere.
Subban will be deliberate. Heads for the boundary line. We'll get the call on this one, I reckon. There we go. Umpire Ryan
had nothing to kick it to, so he said, oh, well, might as well kick it out of bounds.
Collingwood controlling the ball across half back. It was Reid who gave it to Didac. Now Pendlebury. Pendlebury close to the boundary line, right on the 50. Cracker comes up, might come off his shin. No, it'll be a boundary throw in.
Just on that deliberate kick before, looking through the stats, Collingwood concede the least amount of long kicks because you look up and all you can see is Collingwood. So most sides try to chip and work their way through it, but if you kick it long, that's the end result.
Lower improvises. Tuvey in the opposite direction. Clark got him. Fife.
Holding the man. No, he didn't have the ball. It came out and then you slung him to the ground. It's all back on.
So you heard the explanation. Tuvey to load it up to full forward. Woods in the front spot, Dockers everywhere, and Main was, I think, the man in the end that belted it over the line for a minor score. So 2 goals in the first, 15 minutes of the game, and still 2 goals here deep into the third quarter. And really, they haven't looked like scoring for a long time, have they?
No, they haven't had any half chances even, really. I mean, because it's just been a brick wall back there, the Collingwood defence. How many inside 50s have they had? They've still only had 21 inside 50s, which I think is only a couple this quarter.
So 6 of their first 9, the Dockers. But all these injuries, and the toll has proven too great as we've got to the business end of the season.
Palmer, Mzungu with a couple up ahead, but he decides to hesitate, goes back to Hinkley. Well, the men up ahead are both behind their opponents, and Hinkley didn't feel he could kick it that far. Mzungu, now Hinkley comes to the ball carrier, goes back to Mzungu, hard against the boundary line, chopped off by Thomas.
I tell you who played that well from Collingwood when Mzungu was coming down was Leon Davis. His direct opponent was Ryan Crowley. Just sat out in front of him, blocked the space.
Well done by Hinkley. Got it down in front. Mzungu the high ball. Thomas again called upon. And as well as a defender that time. Comes across to Lower from Pearce. He snaps. And I think they might have their 3rd goal. And fittingly, Lower kicks it.
Bit of passion required from the Freo supporters. They enjoyed that. It's been a labour-intensive night for them. The effort, I think, has been there, particularly at the coalface, but just their ability to spread. Nick Lyle got the goal on that occasion. He's had 26 disposals, 15
clearances. That's a good effort, isn't it?
10 clearances. So he's had a good night, working hard.
It's been a long time since they've had a genuine chance, and Lower mate, he's been good, had plenty of the footy. He and Sandilands have had 19 clearances between them, but the rest of the midfield's only got a dozen, so they've been 2 really good.
76 minutes between those goals. Lower up to 27 disposals. He had a career-high 30 a month ago, so he's having one of the best matches he ever had. He never kicked a goal in his 20 matches at Port Adelaide, but he's had a few this year. That tonight was his 8th goal for the season, but don't you love this crowd? I mean, they just cheered that goal. I mean, they're a passionate mob, the Purple Haze, but not much to smile about in the second half of the season. Palmer got it from Fife, and Palmer rolls the ball along the line. Tuvey back to Didak, and Didak off a step. Dockers everywhere, Cracker red at best. Drop the ball out, no free. Swan tries to break through. Main back to Johnson. Now Palmer. He hasn't kicked it all that well tonight. Pearce, that was a good half volley. Well done. McFarlane, that's a good kick. Bradley should mark, and he does, against Thomas. Now they've got a couple on in the middle, one at least. Bradley kicks. At the back was Hinkley. O'Brien in the front, and taken by Davis to mop it up.
Didak, all the time in the world, goes across the ground. Beams, it's been influential. Reed, ditto. Into the path of Didak. He's got some space, Didak. Draws a lot of defenders to him and takes the hardest option of all. Surrounded by 3 Dockers, Jolly has to battle. Well done, Duffield. One of numbers told his story there. Johnson, Duffield, Clark. They work it forward. Fife got it across towards Sandilands. Sandilands went wider still to Pearce with the kick under the chest of Davis. Breaks down again. Bruce just talking as Beams takes the ball on the outer side about Fremantle. And their good start to the season. So good was it that after round 17 they were still 6th. But they've lost their last 6. Blair, and it started with that 1-point loss against the West Coast Eagles. Maybe history could have been different if Ballantyne gets that goal. Although the Geesh came out the following day and said, well, it shouldn't have been allowed anyway. Clancy Pearce.
That's a great turnover there by Leon Davis, and that's what they want to see, those one-on-one defensive efforts win those contests in the finals. Like a goldfish.
There goes the long kick. It's a beauty. Wow. Cloak is on song tonight. He's kicked 4.
4 and 4 straight. He's actually got a bit of the footy. He's had 8 marks, 13 possessions, so that's good. Good numbers really for a big forward. 4 shots at goal for 4 goals. He's certainly making them count. Amazing with confidence. Like in 12 months, Travis Clay scored a really iffy kick to a really powerful, long, accurate kick.
A lot's been spoken of Travis Cloak's kicking style, and part of his training technique now incorporates headphones, where apparently he has the sound of a crowd through his headphones and enables him to focus and concentrate on the technique and the ball drop, and it's certainly working at the moment.
Sandilands wins the tap. His other big weapon is that he can kick the ball such a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, that was well outside the 50, and it went very high over the umpire's head. Shammer, first game for the season. Wonder what his future is at the Dockers. Back he goes to Main. I don't think Main's had a kick so far. Let's check. No, he hasn't. Now he has. Back to McFarlane. So McFarlane to Johnson. So they release now. Subin with that rake. That's a good kick to Lowe's. Getting up to that 30 in a hurry. That one's smart. That's a good way of getting 30. Back you go. Oh, yes, and then off a step. So not a great kick, but where's Sandilands front? But he's got it, the big guy. The giant. Do you know, for all the problems that they've had this year, the biggest one was when he got the injury.
Yeah. Well, he's such a powerful weapon when he's fit and well. He's got to be underdone at the moment, but he's just so big in the contest.
So he kicks the goal, and they get up to 4. 2 in about 4 minutes.
They're still having a good time.
They are, aren't they? I don't guess they didn't come with high expectations, the crowd, so they're prepared to just celebrate anything that gives a bit of joy.
Yeah.
Looks like they might have come with a bit of Dutch courage before they got here.
I think so.
Might have had a head start.
First mark inside forward 50 for Fremantle. A pretty good target, might I add, to kick to when you've got Aaron Sandilands there.
Well, as disastrous home losses go, I suppose this is up there with Tiger Woods, but they're soldiering on. 17-9 to 4-2. And those last 2 coming quickly. The sting, fair to say, out of this game. After it, on his knees, Hill gets to his feet. Hill going nowhere. Claimed by Pendlebury. Just over 2 minutes to 3/4 time.
They've just made the sub down here, Collingwood. Leon's been taken off and Young has come onto the ground.
Young, easily recognisable, the redhead, one of the best and fairest for Collingwood's VFL team last season. Kicks towards half forward. Collingwood out of the middle. Swan. Beams. Didak. Didak on his knees. That was a little too ambitious. Johnson spotted it, came up, knocked the ball to his own advantage. Crowley landed awkwardly. Yard, and then the hand pass ineffectual.
Just see Leon there, and you mentioned Tom Young. It's just the structure of Collingwood also. He's just gone straight back into that same position, just filling the space behind the kick behind the play.
Just how the opposition play Davis in the final is going to be fascinating, isn't it? I mean, it was a talking point last year, but for different reasons when he was playing forward. But you feel like right now, you can't really let him get away with it, can you?
Well, I think tonight's been terrific. I think it's one of Leon Davis' best performances. Of course, the fact that Crowley's went out with the attitude of just shutting him down. Crowley's got none of the footy, and Davis has still played his game. I think that's a really impressive, I reckon, to the way he's done in the way the contest was set up against him.
There was Young a moment ago. The sub coming on for his second game. O'Brien keeps his eye. Goldsack running hard. And here is Young. His numbers were big last week. Some fantastic results. Long kicks inside 50s, you name it. A lot of the ball. Lower holds up, but he can't break the tackle. It'll be a ball up.
It's interesting that Leon's been subbed off because he was coming back into the team this week. You might have thought it might have been one of the other players that's been playing every week.
Yep. He's played 17 of the 20, Davis, so he's had a fair bit of ball. But 4 of the players out there have been in every match this year. That's Sidebottom, Reid, Pendlebury and Cloak. They're the 4 that have played all 20 matches, 21 counting tonight. So key defender, key forward, midfielder Sidebottom and Pendlebury a mid-forward. So the coach in waiting, Nathan Buckley, who takes charge after the season. I was about to say after the grand final, you feel like they will be there, but still some footy to be played. Johnson's little one. Main got it from Subin. Squares it up. Can the Dockers get a 3rd goal in this term late? Mzungu's run hard. He's played hard all night. He's a likely type, isn't he? And that kick, not good. Cut off. Brown's done a good job in Tarrant's absence. Didac, 25 disposals, but still don't feel like he's quite at his top. Here's Swan. He really is at his top. The ball didn't quite bounce for him. It was an untidy handball, but he gets it to Blair. Runs inside. He's in trouble. No, he bends his back and then sprays it. What a good chase. Great chase by Clark.
That's what they're excited about with Freo, is that Clark has just enormous athleticism from a huge man.
So a running race at the end. It was like Usain Bolt chasing Tyson Gay, the big and the small. So 3/4 time here. It's 26 to 111 on Friday Night Footy.
Final term, Friday Night Football. Collingwood right on top, up by 85. Incidentally, when Peter came off the ground, we lost 7 minutes, so this game's going to go a while. Getting back Pendlebury across to Wood, drives it down towards half forward. In front was Thomas, off hands Blair, just drops it across to Sidebottom. Sweeping hand pass, releases Cracker into Mines. Eventually Grubbers a kick. It goes fortuitously to Dawes, run down by Duffield. That affected the kick. Sliding in is Subin, taken high, surely no free kick. Anthony, who's been good, gets a hand pass across to Fife. Fife around the outer side wing. Going back, O'Brien dropped the mark. He was taken high. No intention, though, from Bradley. He just ran into it.
So Didac out wide. Fasolo.
To the management players, Woods, Fasolo and Cracker all start in the centre square. So trying to get a little bit midfield action into every medium sizer will be, I think, what Collingwood's aim here.
What a magnificent start to his career for Solo. He's a goal-kicking, high-leaping, marking player. Kicks the ball right to the line. Palmer. Back to Barlow. Had 20 disposals in the first half, more than anyone else. Cracker cuts it off. Weaves his way through and then misses. In fact, misses the lot. So he's had a good game, Crack. He's missed a few. Here's a heavy on O'Brien. Just back to Davis. I mean, he's sitting it out. Scotty Waters interviewed at 3/4 time. The ball comes to Wood. Crowd at the back. Young, well done. I'll get to it in a sec. Johnson off a step. Back inside the 50. Main belts it away to Johnson. Looks up. Caresses it. Not a bad kick. So the sweeping handball comes from Hill. Down the line to Crowley. The kick by Lower. Leon Davis talked about the fact that Scott Waters really worked his way through being a defender and made a massive difference to his whole attitude this year. So paid him the highest compliment of the day this morning.
And sometimes, you know, that's the role that a lot of people don't see of assistant coaches. They just play that mentoring role to work players through some of the troubling times that aren't necessarily there for everyone to see.
It's a good example of what Cameron Wood has to do to go to that next level. He had the height, but he just wasn't able to sort of hold his body under the footy. I think he's getting better. Like many ruckmen, I suspect his best will be in his late 20s. But that's what you've got to be able to stand and take those big grabs when you're just under the footy.
Here's Lower, so good around the clearances. Goes down towards the attacking 50. Sandlands, well, Reid so good normally. Outreach that time. Clancy. Pierce trying to work it back, and he misses.
But Jack Anthony's just come off the ground. He's cramping in his right hamstring and just chasing Chris Dawes around. He mightn't have touched the ball a lot, Dawes, but as Scotty Waters said, ran 4 kilometres in that third quarter, and he just continues to hit up with the ball.
So the long bomb into the centre square. Still Dockers going hard at it. Cracker brought it back in. He might have a problem. No, play on. He'd love the Dockers to really fight this out with him. I mean, they've been blown away, obviously. 17 goals to 4. Didn't score a goal for an hour and a quarter, but they started the game with a lot of energy. You'd love them to finish it. Final home game for the season. Brilliant tap by Sandilands. Clark, bit of a miscue. O'Brien takes the mark, plays it on. So O'Brien and Mzungu on each other together. That would make an interesting shot. Here's side bottom. Runs it wide. That's a beautiful kick to Beams, taken in the same draft. So Beams wants to bring it inside, and he does to Wood. Had a good game. Cracker gets within range and then does the team thing, laces it out to Cloak.
You know where he showed the ball to? Well, I think it was Sandilands who come back inside. I think everybody in the ground knew he was going to try and do that. Probably including Sandilands, but I mean, you just didn't have the movement to go with him. Have a look at this. Just that selling the dummy and coming back on his left side. Crackers. He just does that so well.
Cloak's kicked 5 goals in a match on 4 occasions this year. A couple of times he's turned them into 6. Maybe Buddy's not getting nervous for the Coleman, but he is closing the gap a little tonight. Well, there you go. That doesn't help him. He stays on 4.
Didn't have the headphones on.
I was going to say the crowd was too quiet.
The crowd had to make more noise.
I reckon that's his, without being smart after that, I reckon that 25-metre range is the one he sort of has more problems with than the 40 or 50.
He launched that long ball. Oh, gee, that's a terrible kick. You'd almost like him to have a shot from here, Bruce. We can really just launch at it.
It's an age-old problem, that one, boys.
From that distance.
61 playing us to 31 we just saw then. Just highlighting, the efficiency of Collingwood, but just the times that Fremantle have really butchered the ball.
Problem is, too, you can't go to the belly putter. There goes the kick from Blair, and he misses to the near side. Saw that look on Mark Harvey's face. And you just wonder about Michael Johnson. His future at Fremantle. He's been a disappointing player after promising so much, and there's a good grab by Wood. Wants to go and does, misses the target completely, intended for goal sack. Reid gets back. They've still got numbers around the footy. They'll try again. Wood goes to Reid, feeds it forward. Pendlebury, what a beautiful kick,
isn't it? So many players would just blaze away then, Dennis, wouldn't they? They'd just launch the ball long into the forward square, I guess, but just dropped his eyes and hit up there.
Not only was he aware of what he was doing, he was aware of what Fife was doing as well. Pendlebury just a lazy 30. So here's Blair. Nice looking kick. It's working back. It's working back. It hits the post.
Remarkable success rate, Blair. He's played in 32 games and lost 2. Clark, of course, Collingwood's only lost 2 of its last 37, including tonight.
It's a good record, isn't it?
And both of those were by 3 points.
Yeah.
Hawthorn late last year, Geelong, who they play next week, earlier this year. This will be the first time they've won 14 consecutive games in a season in 82 years. They go back to that famous reign in the 1920s. So they're really creating some history, this young Magpie team. Pearce goes back to main. Brown with courage, helped by Goldsack.
Unearthed another one there. Collingwood. Lee Brown spent the whole game in the back half playing a key defensive post. We know he can pinch it forward and pinch it in the ruck, but just found out again, if required, can hold down a key defensive forward.
And we've talked about Jolly and Ball and Tarrant and Cracker. What a good pickup Lee Brown's turned out to be as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, he's had the career of a number 4 draft pick, was he?
5.
Number 5?
Yeah. At 60-odd games for Fremantle, close to 120 for North. Although that time Brown let himself down a little bit. Coming up, Crowley takes the mark.
Pulled out of that one, no doubt.
So Crowley, the other number 15. Brown goes back.
Got a feeling he might have been called out of it and listened to the voice, but it wasn't his teammate.
Well, that'll do us because we like the anvil. In comes Crowley and kicks the goal.
Do you reckon you would have been thinking that if you were coaching there?
You might not have been as gentle as that, but I got a feeling it looked like he just didn't go because as if he heard a voice, but obviously it was Crowley's yelled out, "Leave it," and he did leave it.
I was being a bit naughty.
Well, moments ago he did go back to the fight. He's far more contested situation, so certainly not questioning the courage of Lee Brown.
So Ryan Crowley gets a goal. He's had the job on Leon Davis for much of the night. Davis subbed after another spectacular game. Well, probably not as spectacular as normal, but just another great game of footy. So Collingwood.
Swan's free kick.
So Collingwood with the free kick. Swan for the 10th consecutive match gets 30 disposals. And for the 15th time in 20 games this year, so he's just getting so much of the ball again. Didak back to goal check. I don't think he'll keep that in, and the boundary.
Well, minutes ago, Bruce, you mentioned how important it was for Fremantle to finish the game off well. I think the same goes for Collingwood. They really need to close the door, put the foot right on the jugular and punish Fremantle in this last quarter.
Yeah, Tom, you were in this situation a lot in your last Geelong when you were dominating. What is the feeling out there at this stage of the game, just while this is happening?
Well, at this stage of the season, you don't want to flirt with your form at all, eh?
So Wood off a step. I think he might have kicked at the big guy. Yeah. He's had a night to remember. He's got two.
So just picking up from that point, it's coming into the finals, you know that your side, particularly in this situation when there are a few spots up for grabs, I think all the players are on edge to want to get into the side. But you just can't afford to flirt with form. You really can't. So in this situation, just put the foot down. You've got a chance to really punish your side. And that would be the message, I guess, from the senior players.
That was what the psyche of your team was and Collingwood is tonight.
Yeah, of course.
Just winding down, Leon. Well, he's tweeting perhaps.
He's on Twitter. Jump on, Dennis. What's he saying?
Can anyone just tune into one of those?
I wasn't sure whether you're allowed to leave the bench when you got the substitute, and obviously Leon's taken liberties and gone.
Meanwhile, back at the game, Sandilands knocks it down. So how about that? Social networking after you're off the ground.
During the game.
That's right.
Speaking of social networking, Dennis, I've been dying to get this back in. It was Edward Norton who was the illusionist.
You're right.
That's right.
What?
I knew that.
Did you? Why did you say something?
Didn't want to flirt. It doesn't matter.
Didn't want to flirt with your form. Mark is taken by Kettler Bradley directly in front. That's a good get, Tommy.
Lee gave it to him.
Didn't want to interfere in your conversation, that was all. I thought you were having a nice conversation earlier.
Next time I'll know to come to you.
Straight to Lee with the movie
man.
Edward Norton, yeah, remember that.
I'll go to Tom for music. Pavement in particular.
Oh, very good.
Steve Malkus.
Malcolmus.
Oh, damn. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Meantime, Bradley puts it through. His second.
The stadium has emptied out a little bit as the game's gone on, but I'm just amazed how enthusiastic, whenever the Dockers have given the crowd anything to be enthusiastic about, they've jumped right on board. Yeah. They've been really in. Last home game, they're going to enjoy it.
So might have been a finger there for Dale Thomas. It might have been the left hand you saw with Nat Fyfe and just getting it checked out on the bench. Right hand. It's had an interesting night.
So the Dockers, we've actually kicked 4 of the last 6.
Stephen Hill, free kick being held. Stephen Hill.
Collingwood, of course, had a poor last quarter against Brisbane when they had the game won, and St Kilda, remember, the week before that.
Last 10 inside 50s.
Yep.
St Kilda.
So out wide, Hinkley running hard. Looking up, now setting it up. Good contest, O'Brien, Barlow. Duffield, can he get a handball away? O'Brien tackles hard. And the ball up. Duffield dropped last week after 62 consecutive games. So Cloak and Thomas. Thomas had...
Barlow is being blocked. Advantage, advantage, advantage.
The goal to Crowley.
You're blocking Michael Barlow, Harry. Free kick advantage. Michael Barlow.
Was it Fife, I think? So Fife gets the goal.
One of those things that we're seeing in the game just more and more, where the umpires that are away from the contest are actually playing the holding or blocking free kicks for one of the players on the perimeter of that stoppage. Congestion happened in the centre bounce. That's what got the Hill, I think, was first free, and then the free would have gone to Barlow. Advantage paid, goal.
See the block there by O'Brien. That was called on Barlow. Barlow doing his own umpiring, and Fife getting the goal.
You ran past the ball and you're blocking from getting to it.
Still think Fremantle, they finish their season against the Western Bulldogs next week. But I think they'll be around the mark again next season for finals football. There's a lot of talented young players, including the man just kicking it. Across to Anthony. Fife, Hill, Clark, a lot of upside to a lot of their players.
I think you could mount a case, Dennis, that their season's been more productive than last year, where they made it into the finals. They've unearthed some really quality young people and young players.
You're quite right, yeah. Close to the boundary line, Barlow, and they've got him back, of course. Just finds the footy quite remarkably at times. Just ambles around the footy field. There's goal sack. Wow.
In the man, Luke McFarlane.
McFarlane gets the free kick that time. He worked his way in front. That's been an interesting battle. Cloak has certainly had the upper hand, but no doubting that McFarlane just sticking at it. Wanted front spot that time. Over the top, Crowley. So Fremantle mounting their own little last quarter charge here. It'll be a Pyrrhic victory, but they'll probably win this quarter. Crowley sends the kick on its way into the night sky. It's another goal. Oh, the purple haze.
Crowd have forgotten the scoreboard. They're just going to enjoy the game, haven't they? They're scored. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Don't worry about the wet. We're a long way behind. Let's cheer the boys home.
Charm up at the moment.
Yeah.
It's good pluck in amongst three players there. Crowley's actually come alive a bit in this last quarter, again highlighting the fact that, or the role I should say, that Leon Davis played as a defender, enjoying the freedom of not having Leon around his area.
Biggest margin was 91 points. We're down to still a very big 69. Pendlebury out of the centre. The kick 6 of the last 8 and 4 out of the 5 in the final term. McFarlane rushed off it by Cracker. Broughton back to Johnson. Hill trying to get onto it. Johnson gets onto Hill. Couple of sharp left footers there at various stages in their careers and out of play.
Good performance from Hill tonight. In his last month, only averaging the 13 disposals, now pushing up to 26. Important to play well against a good side.
His last 6 he'd had between 12 and 16 only, so certainly been his best game for a couple of months. And Collingwood don't do a hard tag, do they? Where
No.
Hill often has been hard tagged. So Shammer back to Barlow, and Shammer. Lower's had a really good night.
33 possessions now for the South Australian. Reid drops a mark on the outer side uncharacteristically, then breaks away, comes across the ground. Thomas, I don't think he's got any good hands left. He did his left thumb and then his right wrist, but eventually wins the football and goes back all the way to goal sack. Close to the boundary line, and the mark is taken by Pendlebury again. So much of the football Pendlebury, right out back. Short one to the leading target, supplied by Beams, who's away. Goal sack. They run it through the middle. Goal sack, got it back. Kicks towards half forward. Johnson loops a hand pass. Anthony slipped. Now he's got a problem. Eventually slaps it out. Picked up by Didak. Gets the hand pass away to Wood. Wood could kick another goal. He's done that and just as well, I think, because there was a man on about 15 metres out with nobody near him. That was Johnny.
He was there forever, it seemed, Darren Jolly. Maybe that was just one say, hang on, we're fighting for a spot here. I'm just going to get myself on the scorer's board.
So I think
three times.
Pretty sure he would have given it to him if he saw him, but he actually, and he should have seen him, let's face it, but got a bit of the goal fever then, Cameron Wood. I think had the ball 35 metres out with a bit of space. Didn't think about passing.
Yeah, Johnny gave him the stare, didn't he? But Wood's kicked 3 goals tonight.
Parked the ball well up forward.
Probably his best game, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, been pretty solid tonight. He has.
Do you know what? He's probably as good a ruckman with 58 games under his belt than Johnny was when he was playing his 58th game. But Johnny, of course, has gone on to be an elite big man. So all in front of Wood. I mean, it's against the odds that he'll play a big role in the finals, whether he'll get a game. But he hasn't done himself any harm tonight. Hill tries to get through. And Collingwood hold it up with Tuvey, with Pearce and the ball up.
I think the important thing for Collingwood, though, there's always been this perceived vulnerability, not perceived, it's a practical vulnerability. If Jolly's not there, do they really fall away in the rucks? But I think Cameron Wood's improved enough with a bit of experience under his belt to be at least competent in there.
Sandilands knocks it down. Didak belts the ball out. Will play for Solo, but put Young under the pump as it turned out, but it was heavy traffic. Young stood up to it pretty well. Broughton gets it back to Subin.
Subin, the high floater, down towards half forward. It bounces out of bounds. 126 plays 51, so full credit to Freo. Got it back under 80 now, so they're ahead in this final term. Almost 32,000, as we said. Builders a sellout. Well, it was never that in terms of being full, but a partial sellout. Big scramble around the footy.
And what you're telling me, Dennis, is you couldn't buy a ticket, but you couldn't give one away either.
That was
This is a very strange sort of setup, this sellout concept.
That was the problem I had during the week. I had a couple of hot ones to give away, but everyone said they were room temperature. Bounce inside the forward 50. Sandilands. Oh, we've been watching Cracker. Ball was knocked away. Tuvey, Thomas, and now Reid. Now Thomas. Fremantle, a lot of changes this year. You look at their uniforms. Not only have they changed, but the colour themselves, or itself, has changed too, I think. They've gone a little bluer from the purple.
Increased sales 200%, Dennis.
That's good. But I don't think, Tom, you can change your club theme song without going to the finals. There's a bit of a debate, you know. My friend Kenny Walther wrote this song. And I've got, well, he didn't write the original, but by the same token, back goes Hill. He put the words to it. If it's going to be changed, though, I've done a bit of work on that. Imagine it, Tom, because you're a musical man. Lee's movies. Here's Palmer. To the tune of New York, New York. Just put Freo, Freo in there. Bit of a stretch, the city that never sleeps. But apart from that, I think it'll work a treat, Tommy.
I like it. I'm a big Boston Red Sox fan. I enjoy Sweet Caroline as well when they win their games at Fenway Park. So maybe can we weave that in?
Yeah.
So Johnson back to Main. Oh, Swan could sense a goal coming up. Well played, Hill. So a pretty good night. Subin to Pearce. Well, Pearce sweeps it. Now Fife's kicked 2. And he's still kicked 2. Gee, that's wayward. He's going to be something. He already is something, isn't he?
Talented young player, yeah.
So courageous, can play in a lot of spots. What a difficult year it's been for Mark Harvey. Mickey Malthouse started his coaching career in the same season that Mark Harvey started his playing career in 1984.
First thing you said before, how Barlow just keeps finding the footy, but he hasn't really got speed. I think in the era where it's not one-on-one football, the players that haven't got speed are sort of back in it because they just keep going to where the footy is and they don't have to race opponents to get there.
Sandilands hammers it. Fife was put down. Lower gets a hand pass. Barlow drives it in and kicks it behind.
One thing I will say about the Fremantle Dockers, having been involved in some of the development programs through the AFL and the AIS, is their recruiting department is right up there with the very best. They go and attend every session. They research their recruits better than any other club, I'd suggest. So you know when you recruited the Fremantle Dockers, the time's been invested, and you can tell they're recruiting some great young players.
Goal sack off. Speak of the devil, as if on cue. Fife just ghosting across, marking the goal sack kick. What a beauty. So Fife, 26 possessions, and fair to say his 26th is not the best of them. Out of bounds on the full, about 15 metres up the line. That's a lovely mark. I've said it before, he just reminds me so much of George Young. He was a wonderful player at Subiaco and St Kilda. Out of defence, it's Young. Oh, different fella. Slapped out of there by Wood. Hill trying to help it on its way. It was Fife taken high Pendlebury. And I think tonight now Sandilands is getting over bending. He's not going to bend for anyone. He's had enough.
Pendlebury to Swan to Goldsack. It's got Brown on a long leg. She's a good kick. He's kicked that ball 55 metres to Brown. So the ultimate journeyman, Lee Brown. What a career he's turned out to have. As Tom said, he's lived up to a number 5 billing in a roundabout sort of way. It's taken him a funny journey to get there. Clever by Thomas to side bottom. Hooks it back towards Blair. So good at ground level. Blair won a hard ball. Tuvey tried to knock it on. Duffield got hold of him. Mzungu gets in. Tuvey, Duffield. Ball still hasn't quite been released. Sandilands, can he get a handball away? Johnson for Solo. Paddle forward, Mzungu. Then Pendlebury. And he felt for Pendlebury and won a high tackle.
There's the pressure on that footy. I reckon 10 or 15 players must have touched the footy in the last 10 seconds before someone finally eventually got the free kick. Pendlebury.
So off a step, just wanting cracker. Gee, it sounded like it hurt too. So Collingwood lead it by 126 to 52 late.
We'll get a ball up, I think.
We often talk about the value of clearances. It's 45 Fremantle, 30 Collingwood. I mean, that's a fantastic effort by Fremantle, but it's really had no effect on the game, hasn't it?
No.
Great victory in that particular stat, but no real effect on the game.
There was no sort of carriage from this clearance, was there? They sort of hurriedly got the ball on, generally kicks out of congestion. As Lower got it across to Palmer, but he kicks it directly to Sinclair. In this term, it's Fremantle 4-6, Collingwood 2-3. Here's Brown. Goes down towards half forward. Mzungu launches himself off his fingertips and out of bounds.
Just to add to that, so Fremantle, in fact, they're slightly ahead in contested possessions, well ahead in clearances, and they're, 70 odd points behind.
Sandilands, clean possession. Well done by Sinclair. O'Brien
sweeps it out to Brown. Back to Thomas. Good kick. Jolly couldn't quite on a boundary throw in. Collingwood's greatest ever win at Subiaco, surprisingly, is 36 points in all games.
Yeah.
So tonight,
big win.
Just another big result for them. 20 home and away wins for the first time ever. I mean, only 4 other teams have ever done that. Your Geelong, St Kilda, Essendon and Carlton are the 4. So Collingwood will be gunning to try and make it 21 next week when they play the Cats.
Both Geelong and St Kilda obviously didn't go on to win the flags in those years.
Nope. Swept out. So signed bottom at half-back. See what's going to be fascinating is next Thursday night when Geelong and Collingwood pick their teams for round 24, just who's in and who's not.
I think they'll both go hell for leather. I think you don't give a sucker an even break, so to speak. You can assume they may play each other again in the finals, and if you're lining up on someone who's had the better of you because you've had your foot half on the accelerator, you're just giving an opportunity to open up a weakness in your side.
Well, Sinclair wants to play in the finals. How about that? Just diving across the boot of Subban. Just over a minute to go in this one. And Collingwood, as expected, decisive winners, but it's been an entertaining game because you had the feeling Collingwood stretched themselves and Fremantle wouldn't go away. And stuck at it, despite the fact they're seriously undermanned. Sandilands knocks it down, beams out of the congestion. Inside the centre square, Wood. Well, eventually it comes to Fasolo. Fasolo goes down towards half forward. Cracker goes back, takes the mark. In front of Mazungu. So Cracker told to go now. Sets it down towards full forward. Spotted the vacant goal square and bounces it through for his fourth. Quick thinking.
Enjoyed a couple of those celebrations.
He does celebrate his goals these days, Andrew Cracker, doesn't he? That was, I mean, there's just no one ahead of him.
Just
easy
as easy.
decision, long torpedo punt. Let's have a crack at it.
It's just coming back on the angle off his mark there. Was forced to play, and I think he was actually trying to give himself some room to wait for a player to come round on the fat side. You can see his head on the swivel there, looking to his left, but realised no one was coming and launched it all the way. Good night, 4 goals. Started like an absolute house on fire. His work in and around the contest at the feet of the ruckman, crumbing off half forward, was exemplary to start the game. Finishes with a long bomb.
Just another great story, isn't he?
Yeah.
And 29 goals for the year. Young Sinclair, he's a good story too. Got a great letter from his uncle, Peter Yeo. His half-brother, Will Slade, played with you, Ben Sinclair. At Geelong. Fasolo inside. Can Collingwood get one last one? They're trying. Down low, McFarlane. Blair wraps him up. So Collingwood will go into next Friday night with 20 wins and 1 loss against Geelong, who you feel will win on the weekend and get to 19 wins and 2 losses. What a remarkable effort by both those teams in the one season.
2 teams won 20 games in the 1 year?
No.
Never 2 years.
And 2 teams have never won 40 between them.
Yeah.
So we're in rare territory.
2
so the
powerful teams. Yeah.
Dockers missed the finals. Collingwood back-to-back minor premiers, haven't done that for, I think, over 30 years. Might be about 40 years, actually. And all the records for them. They've been powerful tonight. Big winners, 80 points in the end. For Collingwood. The other thing that's in front of them, they haven't won back-to-back premierships in 75 years. They've got a bit to do before they do that this year, but at the moment they are the favourites. Let's go down to you, Richo. Just a great performance by the Pies.
Certainly was, Swanee. Your best season statistically, 20 wins for the Pies. You must be looking forward to that game against the Cats next week.
No doubt, mate. We knew after the way we played last week, we needed to come out and play what we wanted to play 4 quarters of our footy. And, we probably lived there the last 5 or 10 minutes, but, the first 3.5 quarters were great for us, and it's a good warm-up, and it's going to be a massive game this week.
How far off your best are you, and how many changes do you reckon you'll make to this side next week?
Well, we can always get better. We've got a few things to work on. I'm sure Mick will point them out during the week, but we've got Tazza to come back, our captain and he, so they're probably 3 definites, and then it's just Mick who always said, if you play well, you're going to stay in this fight, no matter if you're the first game or you've played 10 years, so I suppose it'll be horses like he always says.
Now, mate, since you went to Arizona, 10 games in a row with 30+, what'd you do over there?
The drug testers thought I took steroids, didn't they? Because they were there every second day. But no, mate, it's just good just to freshen up and have a break, mate. And you know, it's done wonders for me. My body feels great, and you know, hopefully I can continue that form in the finals when it matters.
Sure you didn't duck over to Vegas for you there?
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, mate. I'll keep that quiet.
Good work, mate. Cheers.
Good stuff, Richard. He is a unique footballer, isn't he, Swan? He plays. I mean, we've compared him with Lee at times, but he's just so efficient, isn't he?
Only because he runs with little steps, Bruce. That's about that. But he just is a wonderful ball getter. Just keeps finding it.
Daisy Thomas could be one of the big stories of the night, though, for what happens at the tribunal. We go down to you again, Richard.
Well, Crack, they certainly loved you over here, mate. You must have enjoyed coming home.
I certainly did, mate. It's had some okay memories here, so it was good to get back and play my role for the team and you know, get a couple of saucy goals.
You're certainly playing good footy, mate. Is this the best footy you've played in your career, do you think?
Yeah, I think last year wasn't too bad, but certainly in the AFL system, yeah.
Is that a torpy at the end there you tried?
I did have a crack at the barrel. I had a crack probably 2 times before and they didn't come off, so yeah, no, lucky that one got through.
No, enjoy it, mate. They certainly enjoyed your form tonight.
Cheers, mate. I just want to say a quick happy birthday to my brother James. He'll be watching. Happy birthday, my brother. Love you, Dad.
Well done, Crack. Cheers, mate.
The old teammates together, eh? Two Tigers, but now certainly. And Mick says farewell to Subiaco. Well, who knows what's in front of him. He's had such success here over the years with the Eagles, but at the moment, you would say certainly it's the last time he's coached here as a Collingwood coach, and who knows what's in the future. Just a little wave as he left. A great team, aren't they? I mean, they've had a couple of golden periods, certainly in the 1920s, and before that, actually, they had a golden run as well. But so many grand finals and disappointments. But this little year and a half, 2 years, they've reached a peak that's rarely been seen before by this great club.
They win the premiership last year, and Tarrant and Cracker come into the premiership outfit. Great recruits.
And that scoreline, well, that just shows you how powerful they are. The Dockers gave it their best shot. Collingwood win by 80 points on Friday night footy. It was 8-4 to 2012.